Hello, friends, and welcome to another single-serving adventure from Queen's Court Games. I'm Justin, your guest storyteller for the evening, and tonight we have an exciting adventure that takes our players into the first layer of the Nine Hells, known as Avernus, to learn the truth behind one of its well-known inhabitants. We'll be playing Uncaged Goddesses, She Who Ran the World, a scenario written for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons by Nina Nicole. You can find out more information about Uncaged Goddesses by typing !scenario in the chat, or take a look at the show notes if you're catching up on YouTube or listening via podcast. Now, while this isn't a horror scenario, there are some topics that certain viewers might find uncomfortable or objectable. You can get a list of these topics by typing !safety in the chat or checking the show notes. The cast has been briefed on these topics and has QCG's safety tools at hand, but make sure to keep yourself safe and take breaks if you need them. Now that all that is settled, let's meet our amazing cast for this evening. First up, it's the Queen of the Court and QCG's art czar, it's V.
Hi.
QCG's social media maven and barbarian in real life, Laura. QCG's technical director and award-winning GM over at Goblet and Gaze, Aubrey.
Hello.
And lastly, but certainly not leastly, they are a full-time content creator with too many hats. Please welcome YouTuber, podcaster, ADHD advocate, sexual health educator, and neurodivergency consultant for inclusivity in TTRPGs. It's Cate.
I'm tired. Hi, everybody.
I feel that within my soul. And now that the cast has been introduced, let me tell you a story. What we find you all is coming from your adventure that you had just created, or not just created, but you had just completed. Getting the information that you all have, leaving the town, and essentially on a pathway to your next adventure, wherever that may take you all. You find yourselves along a road as it's starting to get dark. We find you all starting to set up camp at the moment, and as you do, we're gonna start panning out to everybody for all introductions. We'll go ahead and start out with V. Who is your character? What do they look like, and what are they doing?
Well, it's nighttime, and it's just the four of us. So Gwen, who is a changeling, appears as she does, as she is, as she was, as she will be. Gwen is a changeling, so she has beautiful, light, almost albino skin. She has white hair that like glimmers with a little bit of like a bluish hue to it. She has white eyes. It's impossible to tell where she's looking at any given time unless she's looking in your direction. She's got her hair mostly shaved, just a patch of hair on the top of her head, but it's very long and it's pulled into a very, very high ponytail. And at this point, she'd be getting all the mounts taken care of while everybody else is putting up all the tents and stuff. Gwen is very, very happy to just be out underneath the stars, but other people like tents, so they can set up the tents. I will tend to the animals.
And as the camera kind of pans to you doing, taking care of and tending to the animals, and takes a brief moment to look up into the stars, it suddenly turns around and looks at Laura. Tell us about who you are and what your character looks like and what they're doing.
To be perfectly honest, Gwen isn't the only one who prefers a little open air camping. Considering how long Kellan has been, let's call it, on the run. She knows, sometimes there's nothing wrong with just the open canopy of the sky. What you will see is a very tall, very muscular femme presenting person. The party would know by now that she is an Aasimar. So there's celestial blood in there somewhere. Medium brown skin, gold eyes, dreadlocked hair that falls to about shoulders. Part of it's pulled back out of the way. Dressed in the standard, I guess you could call it like warm weather barbarian gear, which is not a whole lot of clothing. It's the barbarian, the Conan the Barbarian skirt.
Yeah.
The boots and the strategically placed like leather and cloth on the top. Bracers that are surprisingly well cared for. And right now, and tattoos. There are tattoos all over, bits of skin that are seen under the clothes. Right now, Kellan is in the process of making sure that there's a cook fire going because it's been a long day and I am hungry, and you won't like Kellan when she's hungry because she gets hangry.
That's fair. As you've had the wood, as you've gone to help get the wood and get everything going, the fire starting to go, and it's really starting to build up. We see as the camera kind of pans away from you and moves over to Cate. If you don't mind introducing us to who your character is, what they look like, and what they're doing.
I would love to. So as you sort of pan over, you see kind of this large mass sort of on the ground, and littered in front of it are just stones and plants and a couple of glass vials and a notebook and all of this different stuff. And there sits Coronos Blackletter, who is a Goliath. So he's huge. He is a huge guy. He has teal blue skin and darker sort of like aquamarine, if you will, hair, and no one has ever really been able to get out of him if that's his natural hair color or if he just like has taken it upon himself to do that. And if you picture what would look like a really sort of stereotypical grad school hipster, like man bun, glasses, scarf, but an 8-foot tall blue Goliath, that's what Coronos looks like.
Nice. Cool. And as we observe what Coronos is doing, we finally see as the camera pans over to Aubrey. If you don't mind introducing us to your character, who they are, what they're doing at the moment.
Yeah, sort of a little back from the fire, you see this half-elven woman. She looks, the best way to put it is unearthly beautiful. There's something that seems off the more you look at her. And her hair, her clothing, her makeup are always perfect. Like, even through everything, through a massive battle, she will come out still looking the same. She has very long, almost halfway down her back length, red hair that is kind of a bit of an ombre. Over probably the last, like, however long we've been adventuring, you've been watching as this almost platinum ombre has been getting higher and higher on her hair as it goes from red to platinum, sort of in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
And on her knee, she has a lute balanced, and she is gently plucking it as she tunes it to play a bit of a song of restfulness to settle down for the night.
Fantastic. And as your song of restfulness is just kicking in, and that beautiful tune is just filling the air around you all, even with the nighttime nature sounds, kicking in as well, you all suddenly hear as that outside ambiance starts to die suddenly. And as that happens, can I have you roll me a perception check for me, please?
Oh
First roll of the game.
I know, it's starting already. I don't like this at all. 18.
Okay.
That is going to be a dirty 20 for me.
Love it.
Oof. I got a 14.
Okay.
Oh dear. 23.
Perfect. To some degree or another, you all kind of notice as that the nature ambiance dies, and once it does, suddenly you feel a sort of heat that's abnormal for this time of the day start to like rush on through, and then suddenly a reddish glow starts to appear about maybe 20 feet away from you all, as it looks to be a portal has opened up at this point. You see, looking through it, a very hellish landscape that befalls inside of that portal, and you see a woman that is dressed in red, running as she has her skirt like hiked up as she's like trying to get away. She looks like she's been in some sort of battle, as it looks like you see these two rather large, even for the distance that you are all, rather large husky figures that are either running towards her or flying in her direction. At this point, what would you like to do?
I mean, I'm a horizon walker, so portals don't scare me at all. So I'm going to run towards the portal and try and reach into it, extending my hand out for this woman.
Okay.
Well, not to. I'm gonna ready an attack just in case things do go bad.
Okay.
I'm running after Gwen for backup because protect your fucking healer or you're die.
And Coronos, this is how.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if we were like taking turns. No, Coronos looks up, startled, and then sort of like, huh, as like the sort of like vials of stuff that he's almost like sort of spills over. And so he very like calmly and collectedly like finishes what he's doing, puts the thing down, brushes off his pants, and like stands up, and he pulls out his scimitar, but he's just kind of standing. He's not gonna go anywhere if he doesn't need to.
Okay. As Gwen and Kellan begin making their way in towards the portal, while Coronos and Adeline, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, y'all two pretty much kind of stand towards the background of it, yeah?
Yeah. I sort of twirl my fingers and pluck this glowing verdant arrow out of air and sort of like just continue to twirl it between my fingers, waiting for something to start shit.
Yeah. As Gwen and Kellan start going through, you push on through the portal as you make your way towards the woman in red. As that happens, the portal starts going back and quickly goes and encapsulates both you, Adeline, and Coronos, as you are now finding yourself in this hellish landscape. If you take a look at the owlbear, you will now see where you all are currently at. Somewhere in this area, as you see, as the woman in red runs behind this massive rock, and she is gasping for air at this point, and she's like, "Thank God you're here. I need some help, if you don't mind, please." And before you feel like the rumbling of this massive hulking creature that you would all probably know as a Baylor just land and just starts roaring out, as it's like looking for something. And then you see the other hulking creature, known as a
Sorry, I didn't mean to move it.
No worries, you're good.
Hi, I'm Catiosaurus. I'm here to break the game immediately. All right.
Yeah. Garistro is what will come rushing on through, and you'll see as it will bash into one of the rocks and it'll crack it in half, shooting out debris. As it is continuing to look around, as it's like sniffing into the air. At this point, can I have you all roll for initiative?
Oh, sure.
Dang, we've been playing for 30 seconds.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
just
let's
we
go.
just got settled.
Justin's not fucking around.
No, Justin's like, I got you for a short time, not a long time. Let's go.
Yeah.
Or a good time, not a long time.
Also,
14.
I
I
got
got
a
a-
3.
I got a 24.
Crushing this so far.
Adeline, what did you say you had yours
Laura?
again?
I got a 24.
24.
It's like, what's my fucking initiative? Hold on. 22.
22, and Coronos.
I'm so sorry. You froze up right when you asked what it was for.
Initiative again.
Your
Sorry.
initiative.
Oh, it was 3. I got a 3.
Oh
Okay.
no.
We're,
I
it's
was
No.
fine.
really
We're
invested
fine.
in brushing off my pants. I was like, got really into it. I just missed the whole thing.
I
God damn it,
totally
Corey.
understand. Okay, coolness. Well, like this right here. Cool beans. Well, we're at the top of the round with Adeline. You are up. What would you like to do first?
Well, it looks like we've got ourselves in a bit of a pickle. So I am going to take. First, I'm going to do a bonus action for my Mantle of Inspiration, and we'll spend a Bardic Inspiration to give all of my friends 14 temporary hit HP, and they can all immediately use their reactions to move up to their speed if they would like.
Nice. Okay. Cool
Without provoking opportunity attacks, if that helps.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Mhm.
Cool.
So everybody can move up to their speed.
Awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
And I am going to strum on my lute and use one charge from the DOS lute to cast a fly on myself.
Okay. Coolness.
And go up probably about 15 feet.
Okay. Your wings sprout at this point as you make your way 15 feet up into the air after casting your spell that has given your friends that boost and that ability to be able to move as a reaction to their full speed.
Yeah, I mean they can do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was giving everybody a chance to move around the battlefield a little bit.
Yeah, get
Dig it.
into slightly better position.
Yeah, get yourself in a slightly better position before these things have a chance to move.
Absolutely.
With the clump.
Yep.
And what is it? So you all know that the rocks that you see before you stand at the ones to your immediately in front of you where the woman in red is currently at stands about approximately 8 to 9 feet. So standing behind it gives you full cover. The smaller rocks on your right hand side, you'll notice looks to be about 4 or 5 feet. With the other rocks and boulders near where the Baylor and the Goristro are ranging between 8 to 9 feet to about 12 to 15 feet high, ranging about 15 feet across. So you definitely got a little bit of cover, but with that being said, Adeline, you don't have anything else. We'll move over to Kellan.
Well, I don't know where we are, and I'm a little confused and a little irritated about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start boot scoot boogieing it to a slightly better position.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, I'm gonna do what I do best, and I'm gonna rage.
Fuck yeah.
So as I sprint across this weird acid fertile landscape, this giant great sword is pulled off of my back, and as I skid to a stop partway between where the Garistro and the Baylor are, I just turn and scream at them, trying to pull attention away from the clump of people who are, in a convenient little circle there because that's bad news bears. We don't like that.
I'm here
And
for it.
I think that's all the movement I can do. So I'm gonna hold my action until somebody gets in schmack range.
Okay. Coolness. With that as well, could you also give me a performance check?
Yeah,
Or intimidation, one of the two.
Yeah, okay.
Performance or intimidation.
Dirty 20. Let's call it intimidation.
Okay. You notice as you yell out, and you begin your rage, the Cristo is going to like look at you and kind of look at puzzled. And it's like, before it yells out yells out its own monstrous roar back at you. But one of the things you notice that you are louder than it is.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, ugly.
Cool. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
That's it. Like I said, I'm gonna hold my action until something decides it wants to get close enough to hit.
Fantastic. Well, with that, as you say, yeah, looking at you, ugly, it just kind of gives you like this very wicked smile as it begins to make its movement over towards you, and it's going to come up incredibly close, and it is going to start things off with, because it has a bit of movement, it's going to do a charge, as it is going to try and gore you.
Do I get to use my held action since it's run up on me?
Yes.
Okay. So with the great sword, God, I haven't played in way too long. Dear God. Math is hard.
Math do be hard sometimes.
First strike is a 26 to hit.
26 is absolutely going to hit.
Okay, that's 2d6. There's 1d6. There's another d6. DM, may I pump a divine fury into this as I am raging and a zealot barbarian?
I'm here for it. Let's go.
Okay. So, with the great sword of wounding, that is going to be 13 slashing damage.
Alrighty.
Plus, what's my rage modifier? Plus 4 rage, and then another d6 of radiant damage. Woohoo, and that's a d6.
Nice.
So first swing, 23 points of damage.
Nice.
DM, you're gonna have to remind me, when I held an action, do I get both attack actions or just the one?
I'm gonna say just the one.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll accept
Okay.
that.
Well, as it comes rushing up to you and it gets within your close proximity, it's going to go for that gore attack with its horns. You take full advantage of it as you kind of sidestep it and do that attack that you just did, and letting out a pretty significant wound to it. Can you also give me a perception check as well?
Yes, probably. 27.
Okay. When you as you do this, you take a quick look at it, and you notice that this thing is pretty badly hurt already, and you just laid another gnarly hit on it. You can probably guess like it's been battling something pretty well, that the creature looks to be as bloodied as it is at the moment. So these attacks are gonna hurt. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it tried to do a gore attack on you, and next thing it's going to do is try and can make nope. Miss that. And that. So with that being said, it dealt its full little bit trying to go at you with its horns. It failed. It is now Gwen's turn. Gwen, you're up. What would you like to do?
Wonderful. Well, I'm a little combat fiend as well. So I think I'm going to join Kellan in this fun little fight that she seems to have found herself in. So thanks for the move speed. Adeline, wonderful. Love that. It's tasty. It's delicious. And I'm actually just gonna use my vicious rapier. I get 2 attacks, and I'm ready to make use of this sword. What's the point in having a sword if you're not gonna use it, right?
Right. I mean, you have it. It looks nice. It's polished. Why not? Let's go.
Exactly. Well, my first one was a 16.
16 will not hit, no.
Yeah, I had a feeling. The second one's a 17.
That one is not going to hit either.
Yeah, it's super embarrassing. We're not going to talk about it. You know what it was? Is that I had run up and I was expecting Kellan to get hit with the Gore attack, and so I aimed for that, and then she dodged, and it just out of positioning. Obviously, that's what happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because otherwise it's just sad. So yeah.
It happens, you get excited, especially you just barely bought the thing, right?
To the best of us, princess.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
I'm not gonna miss 3 shots in 1 round. Are you kidding? No, I'm done.
Hey, I figure I ask. Just wanted to ask. But cool. So it is now the Baylor's turn, as he is going to do a little bit of a look around and just try and figure out where is the lady in red. I'm going to say that he is a little preoccupied with everything that's going on, with what's going on over here, as he sees Gwen and Kellan starting to pick the fight with the Goristo, as he will actually make his way over this way to kind of get within a pretty good range. And then he is going to break, you'll hear as you a loud crack, and as you take a look, Gwen, you see as he breaks out this really massive and mean looking whip with one hand, and then flick it really quickly over in your direction. Does a
The suspense is killing me.
Does a 23 hit?
Well, of course it does. What kind of question is that?
Yeah, I figure I ask.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, as it comes lurching over towards your direction, it's kind of one of those uh-oh moments, as it kind of gives you a quick slap right into your midsection. And it really feels painful. As you're initially going to take about let me see if about 12 points of slashing damage plus 8 points of fire damage as it comes back. And then can I have you also give me a DC 20 strength saving throw?
No.
Please?
Definitely not.
Please. Pretty please. What's your round time?
24.
Okay, cool. You notice as it slaps you in your chest, the thing starts to wrinkles a little bit, as it looks like it's trying to wrap itself around you. You know how whips work, and sometimes with how they can also be used to grab something and being brought to them. Luckily for you, you managed to dodge out the way as it does wraps itself back in and comes right back to its master, as he lets out a loud roar. At this point, it is now the end of his turn, and Coronos, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Coronos is a student of like arcana and occult and tends to know a lot about just sort of like the general monster creatures of the world. Would Coronos be able to ascertain if either of these creatures are undead just from like where he's standing?
Yeah, I would say you would. With you, just like you had mentioned, your understanding of monsters and especially down here in the, especially down where you're at, you can pick up pick up that you are obviously not in the material plane, which could lead to a couple of places. And based on these creatures, you can probably guess that the creatures that you're facing off against right now are large fiends, demons, if you will.
Okay, so but not explicitly undead.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. In that case, Coronos is going to sort of like open up his jacket, and inside of his jacket, like, you know, like you want to buy a watch. But instead of that, he has just a weird, like a surprising number of vials and little balls and rags and all these different things. And he's going to take his like huge blue hand and just sort of like very delicately rub like one over the layer and going, oh, yeah, fiend, this should be interesting. And he takes one of the vials out, he uncaps it with his teeth, and then he launches the vial at the Baylor. Would you like me to roll to see if I hit it, or is he large enough that we can just say that it shatters?
Oh, he's large. He's a big boy. He's standing about like 15 feet tall, pretty wide, thick boy as well, strong too. So it's an area kind of a thing where you don't necessarily need to be pinpoints on it. The man has the creature has a really big torso, so as you toss it up and it like lands and smashes on him, what happens?
I need him to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Alrighty. That's going to be a 29.
Well, nothing happens, and Coronos looks embarrassed. End of my turn.
Sad.
He like
Aw.
waits expectantly, and then it just kind of like goes, and Coronos is like, all right, more information is not necessarily a failure. And then he just kind of like hides back behind a rock.
I will say that when you do kind of like look to see what does happen, you and the Baylor do kind of lock eyes with each other before you hide back into the rock. And with that being said, Adeline, you're up. What would you look to do? Kellan, you're on deck.
I'm gonna, look over at Coronos and just be like, oh dear, that was rather unfortunate, wasn't it? Why don't you try that again in a bit? And I'm gonna give Coronos Bardic Inspiration.
Nice.
It's a D12 that you can add to your roll. And then I am going to just turn back and being like, well, let's just see what we can clean up then. And I am going to Eldritch Blast.
Alrighty.
And so it is 4 beams, and these 4 verdant arrows appear from midair, and I just direct them all towards the let's go all towards the Baylor.
Alrighty.
Let's see. Grab dice. So we got a good spread here. Let's see. So we're gonna start off with a 24.
That hits.
All right, and then a 25 will also hit.
25 will also hit.
All right, 21.
21 will hit.
And 18.
18 just misses.
Okay. 3 out of 4. Not bad. I need D10s.
All the D10s.
Need need 3 D10s. So that'll be 27 damage to the Baylor.
27 damage as all. Yep.
It's 3 of the 4 verdant arrows just find their target.
Yep. And you just zoom, zoom, zoom as they all take off, and they kind of arc in, kind of like what you would see with Dragon Ball Z before they land perfectly within it, and kind of explode onto him. From where you see, go ahead and give me a perception check as well.
Perception. That is going to be a 19.
Your 19 will be able to tell you that in a similar fashion, that Baylor is just as messed up as the Gristo, as like your Eldritch Blast did a bit of damage on an already injured being that is relentlessly trying to hunt what you could probably guess is the woman in red.
Yeah, and I'm gonna spend my move action to move probably about like most of my move action, about 20 feet to the right.
Okay.
Still flying up in the air.
Sounds good. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right, cool beans. With that being said, Kellan, you're up. What would you like to do?
Well, I figure second burst same as the first, except for this time I'm going to hit this motherfucker twice.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's go ahead. We're gonna make one of these reckless.
Okay.
That gives me advantage.
Sweet.
First one is a 26 to hit.
That's absolutely going to hit.
Cool. I'll go ahead and do another Divine Fury. I don't know why you gave me a D4, D&D Beyond. Go home, you're drunk. Actually, wait, that's a lie. I do, because I've got the Great Sword of Wounding. So the slashing damage is 16 with the Great Sword of Wounding. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack using this magic weapon, you can wound the target. At the start of each of the wounded creature's turns, it takes 1d4 necrotic damage.
Okay, then.
So I'm going to pop that into play. And with the Divine Fury, which I can only use on this first smack, that's another... Oh, Jesus. That's another 12 radiant damage.
Ooh, that hurts. That is really hurting.
And I ain't done yet.
Ooh. Okay.
This is just going to be a regular hit, because barbarians, I just get to run around and hit things. This is what I'm good at, y'all.
You just drive right into it. That's all you gotta do.
Except for not, because that's only a 17 on the second strike.
Okay. Cool beans. So with your reckless attack going in, you slice out another huge chunk off of this creature as you just continue like with your reckless attack beating into him. As he like kind of like wobbles away, you do try and get another one, but he catches you just at the last moment and kind of like turns away as your attack comes down, narrowly missing him. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Nope. That is the extent of it. I'm just here to hit things real hard for now.
Cool. Well, he's going to at this moment, like with one hand on his side from the side that you just cut into, his other side, he's going to come down with a fist and try and hit you. Let's see how well he does. Does a 16 hit?
It does not.
Nice. You catch it just out of the corner of your eyes. His fist slowly comes and tries to hit you. Move out the way just in time. However, he is going to try and bring it back to be able to essentially backhand you with his fist. Does a 22 hit?
Yeah, no, that'll do it.
Okay, coolness. As he comes through and you're like standing that close to him, he brings his fist at you as hard as he can, dealing about 24 points of bludgeoning damage.
Which is halved on rage.
Alrighty, so that's 12. And then, just for poops and giggles, because he's gonna raise his hoof at you and try and kick you in the chest. Yeah. But actually, okay. I was initially going to say I don't think I don't think a 15 is going to hit, but I think a 31 is.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And then can I also have you roll me a DC 21 strength savings throw?
Yes, you can. It's a 26.
Cool. As he kicks you, you manage to like take the blunt of it. And while you do get pushed back about 5 feet, it's not enough to knock you prone. You're also going to take about 17 points of bludgeoning damage. Half, that's 8 points.
8 points.
Yeah, we'll go 8 points.
Third. Ow.
Cool. With that being said, it is now Gwen's turn. Gwen, you're up. What would you like to do?
It definitely is. So the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to use my bonus action on this hoofed baddie boy, because I am a planar warrior, and I can choose one creature that I can see within 30 feet of me. The next time I hit him on this turn with a weapon attack, all damage dealt becomes force damage, and he takes an extra 2d8 force damage from the attack. If I can hit, it'll be great. But I guess we'll have to see if I hit. So at this point, I've just seen him like stomp and smash, and I'm just kind of over this. I would like this to be done. We didn't get the rest that I was hoping for, so I'm also just a little bit cranky. So I'm going to grab my sword, and I'm going to run at him and just try and stab him in the leg that he just stomped at Kellan with.
Okay. Coolness.
Let's see. Ho-ho! 23 on the first one.
23 is going to hit.
Ooh, and a 27 on the second one.
Absolutely is going to hit.
Fan-freaking-tastic. So, the first one hits for 16.
Okay.
The second one hits for 14.
Okay.
And then I need 2d8. And that is an extra 9 damage.
Okay.
On, yeah, an extra 9 damage.
Okay. Go ahead and tell us how you would like to do this.
Oh, I see his big old hoof come back and just kick at Kellan, and Kellan is a beast. Kellan can take a hit, and I'm still incredibly surprised that like the hoof comes at her and she's just able to kind of like unstoppable object meets immovable force, right? Like it's just, or unstoppable force meets immovable object. Like it's kind of an interesting contest to see. But this is the moment that I know that I can use it to my advantage. So I'm actually going to go up, and I mean, it's rapier, right? It's not like a sword that I can like slice at, but you can just see that little bit on like where like, now granted, I don't know a ton about monster morphologies, but I assume that like there is sort of some sort of, not exactly Achilles tendon, but some sort of tendon in the leg connecting the hoof. This is just basic anatomy at this point. So I'm going to stab the rapier 2 times, just straight through, not trying to disconnect the tendon, but just trying to stab in that area in between and trying to slice just nice, like straight through, because if I can inhibit his movement, then great. At the very least, it's just gonna hurt like a bitch.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's pretty great actually. Nice, easy, clean cuts. Beautiful,
Yep.
beautiful rapier. So
Yep. And as that happens, his body just like slumps down on along the side and just is. You'll see as it slowly starts to wither away and puff into dust as the wind kind of carries it off. Is there anything
As
else
it-
you'd like to do with your turn?
no, just give a little flourish and kind of a nod over to Kellan, because obviously didn't make it the first round, but we're not talking about that. But like, yeah, good job, we took him down. Fantastic.
Ooh. And then as you're having your little moment of triumph, you hear a very familiar crack happen as Whip comes back for you.
Me again? I wasn't the one who was a cocky nerd at him last. That's rude.
You're right, because I was still thinking about that. So I'm actually going to we'll retcon that one. That would have made what is it? If his attention wasn't elsewhere. Because now Adeline, you are floating in your air and you've shot those things out. You definitely gained his attention. So with that, his attack will actually go to you. So forgive me for that. Does a 29 hit?
Yeah.
Okay, cool beans. You are going to take a neat little 12 points of slashing damage as this huge chain whip comes and smacks right into you. You're also going to take an additional 3d6 points of damage that will equal out to 16 points of fire damage. And then on top of that, can I have you make a DC 20 strength saving throw?
Okay, DC 20. So there's a 19,
Okay.
but I'm going to spend a charge from my Pact of the Talisman to roll a
Okay.
d4 to add to that.
Okay.
And as you see, this necklace glows. Necklace that she always wears glows. And that is a 2. That'll put me up to a 21.
As your necklace glows, as it like smacks into you, just in the similar way it was trying to do with Gwen, suddenly things don't line up perfectly well, and then the whip just kind of goes around you, and as it comes back, you hear as the Baylor roars at you. Let me ask you, do you understand Abyssal by chance?
Nope. I got Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, and Sylvan.
I do.
Okay. Well, for Adeline, you will hear as it yells out this gibberish of just deep and disturbing guttural sounds. But for Gwen, one of the things you would pick up is it saying, "I don't care for you. I'm going to kill you because out of pure sport, I'm only really caring about the woman in red." And it is now going to kind of move up and start getting close to you with its sword. It's going to try and do a slash on you.
Oh dear.
Does an 18 hit?
An 18 does hit.
Okay, coolness. The sword comes slashing down, and what is it? You are going to take 20 points of slashing damage with an additional 18 points of lightning damage as the sword comes clashing down and slashing into you. You feel the static charge of the weapon just kind of take hold of you as it comes crashing down to the ground. You just kind of hear like the snort and a little bit of a chuckle, if you will. And that will be its turn. Coronos, you're up. What would you like to do?
How are these guys looking at this point?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. That's a 26.
Your 26 would tell you that well, obviously with the Cristo that is on your left hand side, that thing's dead as it kind of like its body's just like turning into dust and floating away into the sky. But the Baylor that you see but the Baylor that you see in front of you is pretty badly hurt as well. You can probably guess a really good shot may be able to take it out.
Okay. It's fine. Let's do something a little weird and
Don't
wild.
forget, you have bardic inspiration.
I do have
You
bardic
do.
inspiration too. I would love to. I had a plan and then my plan was foiled. You know what I'll do? Let's just be old fashioned. I would like to hit it with my sword, please.
Okay.
That's what I would like to
Nothing
do.
wrong with going back to basics.
I know, sometimes
Get back to your
Um,
roots.
yeah.
Bro.
just go back to your roots. That's a
Exactly.
17 to hit.
17 will not hit.
Did that
Well,
include the D12 of bardic
Oh, it
inspiration?
did not. It did not. Hold on.
Gotta
12.
include that.
Yeah. That's a 17 plus 12. I'm bad at math, but it was a whole 12.
29.
Okay.
9.
Nice. Then yeah, that one absolutely does hit.
Perfect. Okay, and that's gonna be
My hero.
Thanks for the bardic inspiration. That's gonna do a lot of damage, but Coronos will take his cool scimitar and he'll kind of swing it up and just sort of like generally slashing. This guy's so big, he knows he's not gonna do a lot of damage. But he's gonna take his scimitar and hit him for 10 points of damage. Exciting.
Just you running up there, and you know what?
That's what
Exactly.
it sounds like.
You're just going at it. It's like, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna do something. We're gonna make sure like you make your presence known after the throw didn't work out as planned. And as you do, you just slash right into him, and you draw a good bit of blood out of him, a good little chunky chunk out of him, as he kind of like looks from Adeline down to you, and then smiles at you as well. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
No, I'm good. Oh,
Okay.
I'll duck.
Okay. Coolness. You watch as he kind of brings his sword back up, and it's Adeline, you're up. What would you look to do?
I am going to look very unhappy at this turn of events, and going to just be like, well, if that's how we want to do it, I'm not gonna hold back, and I'm gonna cast a 4th level Dissonant Whispers,
Spicy.
and I need a Wisdom saving throw
Okay.
of 19.
That is going to be a 17.
He's gonna fail, so it's gonna take 66 of damage.
Ooh, hold on. Go ahead and roll the damage. He does. Nope, that doesn't go any better. Never mind. You're good. Full damage he takes.
As I strum on the lute some dissonant chords that, me, as I'm doing math, is not a math guy. That'll be 23.
Okay. How would you like to do this? How would you describe it?
I would like his head to explode.
Okay.
From the dissonant sound of the music, it kind of trapped there between his ears, and just
Okay. Yeah, no, as he brings up his weapon and just like he's about to strike Coronos, just like he did to you, you strum that, it echoes into his head, and it's just kind of like you watch he drops his weapon, grabs his head, and as he does make contact, everything explodes. With that, as his head explodes and he falls backwards, can I have Coronos? Can I have you, because you are the closest, Coronos, can I have you make a dexterity saving throw, please? Yeah, dexterity saving throw.
I got a 5.
Okay.
Nailed it.
I'm gonna,
Crushed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
More
roll
like
this.
got crushed.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll this 20d6 and see what you get.
What if instead you didn't?
How many hit points do you have, by the way?
Probably enough, maybe.
I'm gonna need exact numbers if you don't mind, please, and thank you.
I have 147 hit points.
Go ahead and subtract 75 from that.
Okay, I would also just like to say, I think it would be very funny if I, as the guest, was murdered in the first 20 minutes of play. I'm okay with that happening. Because
Justin, please don't murder our guest.
I just think that would be very funny. It's
You
never
can murder
I've
the rest
never
of us,
died
just
in
don't
D.
murder
I've
the guest.
never died in D&D ever. I never died ever.
And if
So I'm
you
like, you know
d-
what?
and
I'm
if
fine
you
with
died because of this,
I'm
that
at
would be the
peace with
set.
it.
It's not even in combat. It's the after combat because the monster has fallen.
Yeah,
And
And
that's
exploded.
super embarrassing too. It's just oh, Coronos, he lived as he died ineffectually.
Oh. But yeah, you're gonna take 75 points of fire damage as his body explodes out, and all of what made him what he was just kind of blows out everywhere. At which point you'll see the lady in red just kind of move out from behind the rock and just kind of so they're dead, right?
Yeah, I'd call that dead. One of them just
Okay.
exploded, and the other one is literally turning into dust.
Okay, thank you. And she's gonna go up to one of the little pieces of chunks that was the Baylor and just kick his that's for being a piece of shit. I wish I could have done the damage to my own damn self. Go fuck yourself. And she's gonna give one more kick. Hi. Sorry.
Hi. Yeah, no, they obviously had it out for you based
Why?
on
Would be my
based on
question,
what they
though.
said.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
an explanation would be wonderful.
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you all. My name is Rosa. And yeah, no, what was it? I was with my sisters when we were actually at the cave that she's gonna point nearly 100 feet away from you all that you can kind of see towards the northwest, or not northwest, northeast. Just we were exploring those caverns when something happened, and then we kind of got separated, so I just came back out, and next thing you know, these bloodied creatures just came out of nowhere and decided to pick a fight.
Yeah, but why? It kind of seemed. I mean,
This is interesting. Are we aware that this is Avernus?
If you want to give me a history check,
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I imagine that at this point we've at the very least realized that we are no longer sitting in the forest that we were sitting in.
I mean, God, I'd hope so.
It's 14 to be where the fuck am I?
Yeah, this is what is it? Yeah, I'd say with at least a 14, you were definitely able to tell that you are in Avernus. You can see everything. This is from books, stories, bardic, tales of the land itself. This is matching up pretty well with it.
I'll definitely let everyone know that very loudly as I say. Any particular reason you're just exploring Avernus?
We were looking to try and get an interesting artifact. We heard it was down here, so why not give it a shot?
What type of interesting artifact?
A rod, a ruby one of sorts.
Coronos giggles and then pretends like he didn't.
Just pat Coronos on the shoulder.
Yeah, that was what we were down here looking for.
And when you were being chased by ugly number 1 and ugly number 2, you just decided to like open a portal and hope some strangers were sitting on the other side.
Generally, yeah. You'd be surprised how often that works.
But the repercussions of sending these creatures into our world, like that is irresponsible on many, many different levels.
You're not wrong. I can't disagree with you with that at all, friend. But luckily for me, there have been people on the other side that have always been able to help, and this time doesn't seem to be any exception.
How often do you do this exactly? How often? Because you say this usually people on the other. Like, how often have you done this?
You know, after 10 times, you just kind of lose count.
And hold on. Are we talking about this exact situation here? Or
No. Just opening portals in general and hoping that somebody's there.
Yeah, all right. So, like, is this a rescue? Are we taking you back to the material plane? Is that what needs to happen? Do you?
My sisters are trapped, and I need to get them out.
In the cave.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
You
great.
are mercenaries, correct?
Very droll way to put it, but yes.
You're not
Personally
Um,
prefer researcher or, scientist or,
Storyteller.
guy who is tall and good at poisons before mercenary. But I mean, if you want to put a label on it, that's fine, I suppose.
Whatever you're comfortable with, I'm more than happy to call you as such. I don't.
You can just call me Coronos. That's fine. That's my name. That's probably the simplest thing.
You'll see as she takes a breath. She'll stick her hand out. She's like, "Hello, Coronos. Nice to meet you."
He takes his just giant hands and it just like encompasses hers entirely, and he very delicately shakes it like a little slowly too, because he's used to sort of like jerking people off their feet. And he says, "It is a pleasure."
A pleasure's mine, really. Thank you all so much.
But you said your sisters, they're trapped?
Yeah, if you would follow me, we're at the cave over there. It's just going in and figuring things out.
I'm also going to ask, does anybody else need a quick fix?
I could maybe use one.
Anyone else?
Not I'm only down a couple, barely a scratch, Coronos definitely took the
Well, I can
the
also,
brunt of
I
that.
can take care of myself too. This is okay. I do not mind.
Well, I was just gonna cast a healing spell and need to know who I need to target.
Oh, all right, that's fine. Yeah. And then he
Yeah.
holds out his hands and he's like, "Hit me with your spells."
Well, I will spend I'll spend 2 third level cure wounds, one for you, one for me. You will heal back 20.
Hey.
Nice.
And I will heal back 18.
Coronos
drop in
will.
the proverbial bucket.
Yep.
Okay. Coolness. Rosa will look at you all. She's like, "Follow me, please, and we'll begin our trek." As she begins walking and leading you guys off to the cavern to the northeastern part of the map. Yeah, she'll bring you over there. You'll see as you'll hear off in the distance the loud crackling and thundering of what Avernus is, which is that of a massive war zone. You all may know or even have heard stories about the great blood war that takes place between devils and demons, and having two devils there particularly does not really that odd, but that it does strike you interesting. I'm sure that they were looking particularly for Rosa, as she is very calmly walking you all there. Another thing to note is that with her dress that she's wearing, it doesn't look like there's a scratch on her. As she begins bringing you over to the cavern, she's like, this is where me and my sisters had entered. When things kind of went sour, came out. And so, yeah, if you don't mind, please escorting me in there and helping me find them, that'd be great.
Can I make an insight check? Because this is feeling a little weird at this point.
I was gonna ask if one of us could make an insight check. I don't know who is the best one. You as the ranger might have slightly better than me.
Yeah, I've got a +9, so...
Yeah, better than me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it too.
Okay. Excuse me. Whoever wants to roll an insight check, go ahead and go for it.
I got an 18.
Okay.
Oh, I refreshed my browser in Fury. Oh, I got like a 7. I don't know what is with these rolls tonight. I'm struggling.
Yes. New dice for Cate, maybe?
Yeah, I was like, I use D&D Beyond because I can't do math, but like, it's doing me dirty.
You're dirty, my goodness.
Like, here's dice. I give you dice. Okay.
Do I accept them into my heart?
Okay. Cool. What are you, for those that rolled above a 15, what are you trying exactly to ascertain, if I can ask?
So this whole situation just feels a little weird. Talking about these sisters that are apparently in this cave, and like she does this all the time, and like she was running from these creatures who were badly damaged, like badly injured. But she doesn't seem to have any damage at all. I guess I'm just trying to figure out if the bridge that she's trying to sell us actually exists or not. Like, is she being like, is this story about the sisters just a story, or is this some sort of trap that we're being lured into?
Okay. You would be able to pick up that she does seem very genuine when she's talking about her sisters. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. No worries then. Yeah. I'm tempted to ask, as we're walking, how she managed to get away without taking any damage, at all. But, if there's no time, then I guess we'll hop on into the cave.
She'll definitely tell you, like, though I have magical abilities myself, as with my sisters too, we're all strong. Together we can defeat anything. But when we're separated, that's when I can't rely on my sisters. If I can't rely on them, then I understand I have my weaknesses. So while I managed to be able to work against them, I have no idea really exactly how much more I could take by myself. Never hurts asking for help. I'm sure you all can understand.
Yeah, safety numbers.
Yeah.
Coronos doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
I don't really say anything either, still. Just brushing the burned bits and prestidigitating the dirt off of my very nice clothes.
Fair.
As she walks you up to the entrance of the cave, she's like, "Follow me this way," and she'll bring you in. And as she brings you in, and you guys start to follow her in, it does get kind of dark, but I'm assuming everybody pretty much has dark vision, correct?
I don't actually know. That's a good question. Do I?
I do.
Yeah. You should be able to see it under features and traits, like under
Yep.
your racial traits.
Yeah.
No.
Shit. Yeah, changelings don't have dark vision.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Well,
And I didn't prepare any light spells.
well, it's okay.
Well,
I hold Coronos, like I just kind of grab onto his forearm because it's hard to lose him. So whenever we have to go somewhere dark, I just hold on to the big guy.
Yeah, and Coronos will sort of look over and realize, and I will cast. He'll sort of like rustle into his pocket, and he'll pull out like a little. It almost looks like I don't know, like herbs, just like a bundle of herbs. And he'll cast Druidcraft on it, and it'll set on fire. So you have like a little candle light situation going on.
Nice.
Thank you.
No problem. I know not everyone can see in the dark, so I keep things around.
Makes it hard when you go into caves and dark places. Yeah.
There's got to be like a spell or something that we could find for you. There's got to be something out there. We go into caves like a weird amount. And it's
Like
just,
a
every
weird
time.
amount. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's-
you know what I mean? Just like last time, Dragon's Cave, So I was just, it just seems like something we should talk as a group later.
Yeah, we should. Absolutely. No, you're 100. You're totally right.
We invested in a couple of ever-burning torches. You can just put those in your bag
Oh,
of
yeah.
holding.
Yeah.
God,
I think that was on our shopping list, but
Yeah.
we didn't
Yeah.
exactly make
We
it.
didn't get a chance to go
there.
shopping.
Did we?
No.
But we go into the cave.
Well, as you guys go into the cave, and with the little bit of light that you have, Gwen, everybody else, you guys are going through this dark cavern, being able to see it. So you guys go about like 10, 15, 20 feet before you find yourself into this room that you see. It's pretty wide, about 40. You can guess about 40 feet wide, and they're in a circular room. You can see that this room is lit up a little bit more than what the hallway was. And as you guys kind of like walk on through, you see as there are two other women that are dressed in specific colors. One of them looks like she's dressed in green with like adventuring gear, kind of like what you all may wear, but it looks more greenish than anything else. With the other woman that's laying across from her, looking to be covered in burns, dressed in whitish armor, as they lay unconscious. And what's nearby them as well seems to be about 4 statues of a woman that looks like she's in anguish, with the statue broken into bits and pieces in front of each one of those statues. The floor itself as well also seems to be sporadically cracked too. As you guys kind of walk in, Rosa will kind of like lead you around just to kind of get away from the areas, because some of the bits of the stone floor that is cracked shoots up, like the occasional flare of fire or lava that just shoots up and then comes back down. She'll look to you all as like, be very careful. Just as you can see, Brown, you never know when these things will shoot up. And as she says that, she'll take a step, and one will just shoot right up, not too far off, maybe about 5 feet from where she to her left. As she brings you up to her sister, she does go ahead and start checking on them as well. She's like, Amelia, Magdalena, please help. As she's like trying to like work on them, she's like, I don't have any healing magic. I don't have any of that stuff. I'm not the one that does that.
It's all right. We can help.
Yeah, I'll step forward to the downed sister. And like I'll show my hands, make sure no one decides to hit me. And I'll place a hand on her shoulder, and I will use my healing hands feature as an ASMR.
Okay.
So it's going to be 64 hit points.
As you go and do the things, now you know how this goes. You've done this for a long time. When you heal somebody, there's a certain way things generally tend to happen. When you do, things don't go as you had expected. It's almost as if you touch them to kind of help them out, and the magic just doesn't seem to leave your hand.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if I've ever seen anything like this before?
Absolutely, you can. Gwen and Adeline, while Coronos does that, what are y'all doing at this moment?
Well, I was going to assist in the healing, but seeing Kellan's not work, I'm a little surprised. And I honest to God, it kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop. I wasn't expecting that. So if Adeline has a thought, go ahead and take it. You're muted.
You're muted.
That I am, because I wasn't looking at my Zoom to see I was muted. I was sort of scrolling through and just being like, do I have anything that could do anything? And especially seeing that healing isn't working, I am going to sort of also do any kind of insight, arcana, nature, religion check, whatever is most, to be like, what is going on? What are all of these color-coded Power Rangers doing here?
Also, I got a 19.
19. And remind me again, I know I should have written that down, so it's my bad. I had you roll, what is it? You were Arcana check.
Yeah.
You would, when you look around to kind of just like figure out the type of magic that this is, this is divine magic. So something of divinity is preventing the transfer of healing energy from Kellan to these women. However, that same divine magic also seems to be resonating from the four statues you see them nearby.
Okay. Coronos is going to almost as like an experiment. Like he doesn't think this is going to work, but there are no failures. There is only more information. And so he's going to reach into like one of his many inside pockets and pull out a potion of healing. And as he holds it up and he looks sort of at like the red liquid, he'll look at Rosa and say like, "You match. That's kind of nice. I don't know." And then hand it to the sister. Or, like, I don't know how incapacitated she is, but like he'll like pour it into her mouth or whatever if that needs to happen.
Okay. As you do that, as you kind of pour it in there, again, like, especially from your time of adventuring, people go unconscious, and this generally works. It goes down, but again, no effect. For Adeline, as you are kind of watching this, you're kind of take a look around. Can you go ahead and give me a perception check?
Yeah. 14.
It takes you kind of like walk around for a little bit. As you do, and just kind of like trying to piece things together. And one of the things you're also starting to pick up too is that there are bits of drawings of and tapestries of draconic beings that are just like floating around, not floating around, but like painted onto like the walls, into the ceiling as like the flyer kind of like pops on up. And then that's when you kind of like take a look and notice something about the you do like a couple laps around trying to like figure things out, like they're all trying to help the ladies out, before it kind of dawns on you. It's like those 4 statues are all the same person with that super anguished look on their face. Each statue is broken in different ways, but there may be something more to this, especially since the door that you passed by, not the one that you entered in, is slammed shut.
Walking over to the statues, do I see that like all of the pieces from the statues are there?
Mm-hmm.
So like one could theoretically like put it back together.
Yeah.
And I just go, well, one of my wonderful, very strong companions come over here and help me with this.
Coronos will just like lumber over. I am tall.
You are much stronger than me with my 8 strength.
Is it? Do the statues look like they're? Is it like a repair spell that'll do it, or is it like, do we need to like climb up and like put like, you know, Legends of the Hidden Temple?
Not necessarily climb up, but you're definitely, what is it? You can definitely look to take like the crumbled pieces that are on the ground and just kind of like, they're big enough like you can kind of like stack them on, and it should, especially when you take a look at one of the pieces, should fit on it as you kind of like start to like move it around, and you hear kind of like a as you kind of like put one of the pieces on there.
Because I mean, if it hasn't been 10 minutes since the encounter, I still have flying.
Oof.
Oh yeah, I have flying boots.
Oh, I mean,
I
that also works. I can also I can cast fly, or you know, if it hasn't been 10 minutes yet, I'm still be flying.
Oh, Coronos has an idea. He'll kind of look around at the group, and say, if it is all right with all of you, perhaps we can use the resources we have on hand to put these statues back together. And it's just so dumb.
I mean, it was the same idea I had, so you know, 2 of us coming up with the same idea probably means some merit to it.
And Coronos will smile. And I would like to cast Plant Growth to ideally create sort of like a, you know, like what, I don't know, but like scaffolding, you know, like when they're like repairing an old building. So like create like a scaffolding of like thorns and brambles and branches to like hold up these statues and sort of like put them back together, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Cool. No, what is it? As your plant growth just starts to grow in and starts making its way to surrounding each one of the statues, kind of to form up in that way to where, like, you know, you put the pieces together, it's going to stick. It's going to stay. You all look to try and put a statue together.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
Then if I can have everybody at this point roll me a D6, a D8, a D10, a D12, and a D20 in that order, and I can drop it for you all in the chat as well. Just
Yeah,
that was a lot. And then let me know if you make it. If you get a 30 or above.
so just roll them all, add them together if we get 30 or above.
That is correct.
So pretty much everything but a D4.
Yes.
Well,
And the
I rolled
D100.
I rolled a 2 on my d20 and a 1 on my d12, so can you guess whether or not I made it to 30? Spoiler alert, it didn't.
No. I barely got it. I got 34.
I got a 31.
31. 4.
Ooh.
Helen and I did exactly as poorly. Great
Yeah.
job. Great
Yeah.
job.
That's a 22 for me.
Same.
Okay. Cool. So, Adeline and Coronos, as you all begin working very diligently to put the pieces back together, you guys are done relatively quickly. Kellan and Gwen, you are working at just probably about the same pace, but when you do, you kind of get a couple pieces mixed up, and as you do, you find it put the one piece together, both of you, essentially almost at the same time. Hear like a little bit of like a, instead of like a click, hear like a thunk, and at this point, you all, what is it? You all hear as like a loud crash kind of goes down below you all, and like almost in sequence, lava starts to shoot up and fire from each one of the cracks. You are all going to take, we're gonna say, I'm gonna roll this one. Let's see how many we get. 6, 9, 10 points of fire damage all.
Ew.
And then for Gwen and Kellan, your statues crumble back down, not breaking into new pieces, but essentially falling back down from the burn. You watch as like Rosa does her best to cover her sisters up, and she takes a bit of damage too. Probably took the brunt of it for her sisters. As yeah, you guys try again. Go ahead and roll me those same numbers one more time.
All of us?
No, just those.
Oh.
Just those two.
Just being like, and just being like cursing up a storm in Sylvan, flying to try to stay away from the lava that's attacking us.
My God.
I got a 28.
I had a 27. What the hell?
We're not look it, okay?
I'm not a fucking sculptor. I break things. I don't put them back together.
Wait, hold on,
Nope.
hold on. I poke you with I'm like, hey everyone, I just want you to know that I'm really happy that we're doing this all together. Congratulations, there's an emboldening bond now, and you get to roll a d4 on that check. Maybe that will be enough.
Go for it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. That actually puts me at 31. So yes.
That puts me at 30 exactly.
Hey,
Nice. All right.
Yeah, I told you,
Besties
power
for
of friendship.
life. Yeah, absolutely.
The power of friendship.
With Coronos have giving you that little bit, like you both kind of look at each other as you guys have that final piece, and you slide it down. You hear that subtle click. At that point, you'll see as the statues themselves, what is it? Will slowly start to like cry tears of crimson liquid and just bring back together. And it's like it flows into the cracks as like the statue suddenly becomes as one full statue once again, before it goes through the entire bit and then comes back down to her chin and just slowly drips for each one of the 4 statues, at which point you see as the lady in green, the lady in white starts like slowly rise back up, and they're like, what in the hell just happened? The lady in green says. You watch as Rosa just gives them both hugs and just like, I thought I almost lost you all. Like, sorry, shit just got weird. Shit got stupid. But we're okay. Who are these friends? The lady in white will say.
Hi, I'm Kellan. This is Gwen.
Hi.
That's Adeline, and that's Coronos.
Coronos will bow weirdly and deeply, very like
Par for
you'll
the
see
course.
you'll see as like both of the sisters kind of get up, and the lady in green will walk over to y'all and say, "Emilia is my name. Nice to meet you, and thank you." The lady in white will say, "Magdalena, and I'm glad that my sister found you all." So
Yeah, I from what she was saying, it's fairly often that you find people on the other side of random portals. So it just happened to be us today.
yeah, you would be surprised. We do have friends. What is it? We do make friends with people at random ends of portals. So we're glad that we were able to bring more friends in to be able to help us.
Help you with what exactly?
Our sisters. And there's more of us.
How many more?
So there's Yasmin, and then there's Camellia.
Fucking family.
That's a lot of sisters.
Yeah,
Your parents were
We're-
busy.
you can say that. Yasmin and Camellia are still in the other rooms around. As she mentions that, as Amelia mentions that, she'll point to the door that Adeline you had seen earlier, and you'll see as like the door slowly moves over to the side as it opens up for you all.
DM, just point of order because I feel like I missed something.
Yeah.
So the sisters, so there were 4 statues in the room, but there are 5 sisters.
In total,
Okay.
but there are only 3 in the room.
Okay.
That's
So
correct.
okay, so the statues are not of the sisters, right? As far as we know.
That's correct.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
I
but
know.
yeah.
I thought there would be some connection too, and then I was like, the
Same.
math is
I know, I
not
was like-
mathing right now.
Yeah,
I don't.
Wait a second. I was
Like,
like,
I know I'm
missing a
gay
statue.
and I can't do math, but this doesn't work out.
Oh god.
But yeah, no. 4 statues, 5 sisters now to your count. But when the 4 of you all did the statues and essentially help take care of everything and open up the room for you all, they'll smile. She's just like, well, if you don't mind joining us, we'll move over to this next room and see what happened to Yasmin and Camellia.
All right.
Okay.
Cool beans. And you'll watch as like Amelia will be the one that'll actually like lead the way, as Magdalena and Rosa will essentially go to her sides, almost like that of a triangle, as she kind of leads the way into the next room. And as we go into the following room, I think we are hitting a point where we could probably go ahead and take a little bit of a break.
Hooray!
Cool beans. See you in 10 then.
See you in 10. We'll go ahead and get this started again as you guys make your way into the second room at this point. Quick question for everybody is, who all speaks Draconic?
Not me.
Oh, perfect.
Not me.
You see as these symbols, like as you're walking in, this room is a little bit more lit than the initial hallway that you had just came through. And one of the things you notice in this room, it's a little bit smaller. This is about like a 25 foot by 25 foot room, circular as well. But in this room, there seems to be the same patterns you can probably guess is being draconic repeated over and over again. Think of the Joker saying "ha ha ha" just all over the place, even like on each other as well. and it's being spelt in, it's like that same pattern over and over again all over this room. And as you guys walk in, you come into the room, and then you suddenly see as like darkness starts to like slowly fade in and close over your eyes, and the last thing you see is like those same draconic patterns start to glow up in front of you all. In any way, which way, form it is, like for you individually, and you hear something very softly whisper in each one of your minds, I am retribution. Do you howl in pain at the moment of it? Would you change it if you could? At this point, can I have you all roll for initiative for me one more time? Initiative does not, just as a friendly reminder, initiative does not mean combat. It just gives us
but it doesn't not mean combat.
I did get a natural 1. So.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus, Coronos,
Crushing the game.
I got a 17.
Alrighty.
14.
14.
16.
16. And with your natural
It's the
one.
same order as before.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like that. It tells a story about Coronos. Like, it's just, that's you know what? He knows his place in the party. It's fine.
Too busy trying to decipher the scribble on the wall.
Yeah, he's doing science in the back. Like, it's fine.
You're unconscious right now, but like in the forefront of your unconscious mind, you're like, what does this mean? And just kind of like going through everything.
I speak like 5 languages, and this is not one of them, and that's upsetting.
Yeah. So starting off with Adeline,
Mm-hmm.
could you please, for everybody, as you go unconscious for the audience, could you recount a betrayal of yours that's happened at one point in your career, one point in your life?
Well, the one that she'll never forget was years ago at this point, 7 or 8. She was just barred in Waterdeep, you know, trying to scrape by, earn enough coin for food and a bed, until she met some local thieves guild. They're not one of the big ones. They're just a bunch of up-and-comers who are trying to make a name for themselves in that busy city. And so Adeline learned that she was really good at being a face. She was really good at being a distraction. You know, Bard plays music and is a pretty face. People are going to look at her, not at the person stealing their coin pouch. So after a little bit of time, the gang decided to move up to bigger targets. Trying to steal art from a wealthy noble piece that was hopefully going to fetch a decent amount of money on the black market, but something went wrong during the actual heist itself. It's just one of those things. One thing led to another, led to another, led to another, leading to all of them injured and on the run, eventually making their way back to their hideout, where the sort of the person who put together this little group was waiting to grab the painting and head off to their contact, so hopefully they can all get paid. All they found was knives in the back, the guard waiting for them, and the person that she thought was her friend walking away with a priceless painting and no repercussions.
As you recount this little bit, you see a woman that's kind of standing with you at the end. Her shape and everything seems a little fuzzy, and she looks on she looks on with you as all this has happened. She's like, "This is a prison that we've been put into with these things that happen to us. What do you do? What would you do?" I'm gonna have you make a DC 22 saving throw. I'm going to leave it up to you whether it's going to be wisdom, intelligence, or strength.
I'm gonna go wisdom.
Okay.
I have puzzled out enough escapes in my life that hopefully my brain can put together something. And that is a natural 20 for a 26.
Fantastic. What do you respond to her in this instance?
Well, it's when you certainly don't go down without a fight. Spit, bleed, show your teeth. And it's the first chance you get at anything, an escape, a chance to hit them back harder, you take it. And you really make them fucking regret it.
As soon as you say really make them fucking regret it, your eyes pop back up. We'll leave you for this moment. We'll go over to Kellan. Could you recount for us what that moment of betrayal is?
Well, Kellan comes from a long line of warriors who worship in the name of the Morrigan, the goddess of war and, funnily enough, retribution. At a time where she and her twin brother would have been able to decide their fate within their tribe, whether to go on with the infantry or maybe climb to something higher, their chieftain met a terrible fate. And Kellan was the one left with blood on her hands. But her brother Declan was the one who held the knife. So Kellan ran before the rest of the tribe could have her executed as a traitor.
As you begin the run, you see down the forest like a woman, a feminine shape that you'll pass by every so often as you're kind of like looping in, running through the woods. You hear she says, "What is it you would do differently if you could? Would you stand a fight and know that you were wronged, or would you keep running away?" Same question, the same save for you. DC 22, strength, wisdom, or intelligence?
Well, as a barbarian, I feel like I have to go for strength.
So we're gonna roll intelligence. Just kidding.
That's 23 on the strength save.
Cool.
And I'm assuming this would be what would be considered a flashback. This is the moment where Kellan was running for her life.
Mm-hmm.
And I will look and I will stop and listen to this voice and turn back to the sound of shields and spears and fury. I ran to save my own hide. That son of a bitch would have left me out to dry without a second thought. His own fucking flesh and blood. Given the chance, I'll take his goddamn head.
As you say that, you can feel in your hands your weapons in their rightful spot. And as you hear like the loud roaring thunder of the army that you've fought with, you've trained with, and you begin your movement in that direction, you take that first step, your eyes open back up, and then we'll move over to When? For the audience, what do we see?
When Gwen was a child, she was left at a monastery in the mountains. She was born a changeling to a woman who was incredibly surprised at this fact. And the monks took her in, raised her. One of her mentors, a tiefling, they bonded over their shared distrust of humans that would look at them strangely. But she was too trusting was the problem. And as she grew up, she realized that there was a local village just at the base of the mountains, and there would occasionally be disappearances in this village. And though the folks weren't the best towards her in her natural state, when she would go about town in a more palatable form, they were actually quite decent people. And so she decided to investigate these disappearances. Unbeknownst to her at the time, this tiefling, Rexire, was actually part of the group that was abducting villagers. And when she kind of confided in him that she had a lead on where these folks were going and was investigating these leads, he actually set up an ambush for her, and she was captured. And she managed to escape, but not before it was, not before she was told that it was her tiefling friend that she had trusted all these years.
As you stand there receiving the information that you did, same voice that your friends have been hearing so far kind of echoes in your mind and says, the ones that we're closest to can hurt us the most. And when she says that, same thing for you, DC 22, pick your poison.
$23 on that strength saving throw.
You have an opportunity. If you could, what would you do different?
I'd kill the son of a bitch.
And as you say that, it's almost as if the camera pans over and he's standing there next to you. As he looks to you, it's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do anything like that. Why would you even consider me in this case? Like, come on.
I mean, he's there in front of me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Grab my sword and just quick as I can, just stab at him.
As you pull your sword out and it goes straight into him, your eyes will open wide. And then we'll finish this off with Coronos. What?
DM question.
Yes.
Before I share my terrible, tragic backstory, I have telepathy. If
Okay.
Coronos got a telepathic message, would he be able to respond?
I don't see why not.
Okay, I'm not going to use that right now. I just wanted that information. So
I'm gonna feeling this to come back to me later on, but we'll figure that out.
I'm here to break your game. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Coronos thinks back to growing up. He had honestly just a fantastic childhood. His family were good, hardworking people who raised him, and he knew like he was going to be a cleric. That was the thing he wanted to do. He wanted to heal people. He wanted to help people. And slowly, as he and his sister started sort of learning and training and magic and nature and all of these different things, his sister got really interested in the darkest parts of magic, in the parts of magic and spell work that are perhaps a little too dangerous and a little too serious for somebody just starting out. And he kept trying to warn her, and he kept trying to tell her that this was, not the path that she was supposed to be on, that this was not the thing that would be good for her. But she started secretly studying these forbidden spells and practicing them in secret to, gain power and control and all of that stuff. And one day it came to a head when Coronos walked in on his sister performing just a unspeakable spell. And he confronted her, and he, they fought, and basically it shook down that, he kept telling her, this is dangerous, this is dangerous, this is dangerous, you're going to come to harm, you're going to bring harm to our village and our people and all of this. And she just wouldn't listen. And in that moment she attacked Coronos, and she left him very bloody and scarred. He made it out, but barely. And so Coronos' greatest betrayal is that his sister, who he thought was going to be his, right-hand gal partner in crime for forever, went down such a dark path. And his sister disappeared after that, and he hasn't seen her since. A very dark backstory, and I will do my check. And that's a 16. All right. Wait, no, it's not. I rolled the wrong thing. Sorry. That's a 13. Great.
Because it's wisdom, intelligence, or strength. So
yeah,
that made it.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll take the 13. It was my fuck up.
Okay. Then for you in particular, this starts to become a bit of a loop. Like as it ends, you come back up to the day that you went to confront her, and you go through and live through that pain all over again. It just loops over, over, over again. Coronos, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to let you know that you are going to take 2d10 psychic damage.
Oh no!
It's not gonna be much. It's gonna be about 4 points of psychic damage.
I'll take it.
As you are laying there before everybody else, who you all snap up, kind of see, and you'll see kind of like in the center of the room, a woman that is dressed in black, in black armor, black hair. And she's just sitting there. She's just like with the rest of the women. You can see a little bit of a pattern going as they're like with her. And they're essentially consoling her and everything. For Gwen, Kellan, and Adeline, you see as you all wake up and look around you all, you can also see that the lettering, that the patterns that were on the wall now say, you used me, in common. But one thing stands out to you is that your friend Coronos is almost like he's in a bit of a bad nightmare at the moment. What do you all look to do?
I'm gonna go over to Coronos.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to Coronos as well, and look at Kellan and just saying like, did you?
Yeah, it's what I told you about my tribe, Declan.
Okay.
Wanted to know what I'd do differently. As a voice.
Yeah. Come on, buddy. Come on. I'm gonna place and give Coronos some encouraging words as I give them some bardic inspiration. Come on, you snap out of this. You've got it. You're.
Okay.
So next time they make that check, they can add a d12.
Cool.
Do I need to make the check again?
Yeah. Go ahead and make the check again.
Here we go. Here we go. All right. Okay, that's a 27. I will take that. And I'm going to thank my bardic inspiration. Thank you.
This, as soon as it comes back to the beginning of it, right where you're about to open the door to go talk to your sister and have this confrontation, you can hear Adeline and Kellan kind of talking, and off in the distance, and you hear the encouraging words being spoken to you as it kind of like echoes before you hear another woman's voice saying, "What would you do different? Would you change? Would you keep doing the same thing?"
Coronos is going to use his telepathy to think back. I don't know who you are or what you want from us, but surely there must be a way that we can do this without anyone getting hurt.
You'll hear a response back to you saying, "I need you all to open your eyes. Not everything is as it seems. History isn't always completely accurate. The stories and legends you hear aren't 100% true. I need you to come further." As soon as you hear that voice say further, your eyes open.
Coronos takes his big giant hands and rubs his big giant face and looks up at his friends and just kind of says, "I am assuming we all experienced the same thing, yes?"
It seems so.
Weird flashback.
Yeah. Is everyone all right? I know that kind of thing can be very hard sometimes.
Yes and no. All right,
That's
now
loaded question, buddy.
you compartmentalize for later. I'll cry before I go to sleep tonight.
That is good. Crying is often very good.
I feel great, personally. But I guess I'm the odd one out in that regard.
Is Rosa in the room still?
Yeah, you'll see Rosa. You'll see pretty much all of the sisters, like almost all of the sisters, there surrounding the woman that is in style as far as her clothes are concerning, to the rest of the other sisters. But this one is dressed in pretty much all black. You can see as they're kind of like slowly helping her get up as she's kind of like shaking things off and just like trying to get her bearings. As she kind of looks to you all and she's like, "I'm assuming you all have been helping my sisters then."
Yeah, that would be us.
Thank you. Jasmine, by the way. Yasmin, my other sisters call me. Either way, it's fine with me.
Gwen, Kellan, Adeline, the big ones, Coronos.
I'm sure you all experienced it. We all did. Or we as in all, like, the five of us. She's going to look at her sisters and look back at you all. It's like, they were lucky not to go through this. But I remember everything. Saw the man I looked up to, who I trusted. I supported him and I was with him every step. And you can see like this anger starts to like build on her face. But he discarded me as soon as I was useless to him. Kept all the accolades to himself. Will never again.
Like a son of a bitch.
Fucking right he was. Now, our sister Camellia is in the next room. If you don't mind, I'd like to get my sister back.
Of course.
And as soon as you all say, of course, you'll see as she kind of like turns her way and kind of limps over towards the door, and just kind of give it a little bit of a push before it kind of like goes in and pushes over to the right. And as that happens, she looks over to you all and is like, follow me.
Say anything, but just follow, yeah.
In the way, or like on the way into the room, Coronos is going to convey what the voice told him to the rest of the party.
Okay. Yeah, you hear as Coronos explains everything, like what he had envisioned.
Was the because I didn't pay enough attention to it, obviously didn't really like have a conversation with it, because I was trying to process what was going on. Is the voice that we heard, is that the voice of Yasmin?
No. Yes,
Okay.
I will say there's a similarity to it, but not the exact voice you hear coming from Yasmin.
Okay, so it's not any of the sisters that we've met thus far?
No. Similar,
Okay.
but not one particular.
Okay.
But we also haven't met all the sisters yet.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Do you suppose it's as easy as we have to go farther into this cave and solve another puzzle? I mean, could it be that easy?
I think. Oh, sorry, you were going to say.
No, I was saying outwardly, probably. There's more going on here that I don't think any of us understand.
No, there's something ain't right here.
Exactly.
Okay. As you
Coronos,
guys,
you're making a thinking face, Coronos.
I know, I am thinking big thoughts inside my big head and I cannot figure out how to say them. I guess I am starting to think that maybe we have been brought here for a reason, you know? Like maybe we are the specific people that need to be here to deal with this story or to rewrite this story in the way that this voice needs. I guess what I'm trying to say very, very fucking poorly is that I don't think that we should assume malevolence. I think that maybe this is just someone who is hurt, who is scared, who has been betrayed like all of us. And so maybe, you know, we can think about that as we move forward.
Yeah. It definitely seems a little unlikely that the portal just randomly opened to find the four of us, but didn't want to vocalize that. So, yeah.
So, like, I don't know, like 10 times? That's a lot of portals. Like, that's just like that's a shocking way to just sort of handle your adventuring, right? We agree with this, yes?
As somebody who goes through a lot of portals, Horizon Walker, like,
Do we
usually
think...
not a lot of people just hanging out on the other side of portals that I've come across. Just saying.
I feel like that's like
excessive.
winning the lottery 10 times in a row. Like,
Yeah.
a portal to a random place. Oh, a group of adventurers sitting around the fire. Like, I don't know. I just am saying that there's a lot more spaces where there aren't adventurers sitting around the fire than there are empty places.
One would think
It's not like we
if-
were in a city, right? It was
Yeah, one
we
would think
were
if
out
you
in the
really
wilderness.
needed help, you would just open a portal to Waterdeep. or Neverwinter or anywhere like that. Lots of people to help.
Yeah.
Ellen, what were you gonna say?
No, I just. I am not above helping anyone get the vengeance that they deserve. I'll tell you that much. I know the general consensus is blood begets more blood, but, well, some people have it fucking coming.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely agree with you. Absolutely. Yeah.
Nothing else. I am hesitant, but willing to see this through to the end.
Honestly, it kind of doesn't really feel like we have that much of a choice. Not that I think
too.
any of us would back out at this point, but I'm pretty sure we have to see it through. So,
I mean, do you want to navigate the plane of Avernus on your own? I sure as shit don't. Well, you'd be fine. You could probably just walk on back to Waterdeep if you really wanted to, but
yeah, I can tell where
the point stands.
You know what
find
that
a
old
portal,
saying? Curiosity killed the cat. That's me.
Satisfaction brought it back.
Generally, that's how it happens. But yes,
But I think Kellan is right, though. I think we see this through to the end, whatever that end may be. I think that that is the right thing to do. Kellan is absolutely right.
Yeah.
Broken clock.
As you guys are having this conversation, going down through the next tunnel that leads you into this room, you hear the sounds of crying as you approach. And as you walk into this room, it's just kind of like split away, and like as you kind of like allow you to like for everybody to come into this massive room. It's about 40-foot diameter room with a cage that sits in the middle. There are 5 immense dragon heads made of stone that are mounted on the charred walls of this circular room. The gaping maws all point to the center where this cage is. And this is where the cries are emanating from, as this lady is dressed in blue, curled up on herself, sobbing. And she's just a mixture of sad cry and an angry cry. And there she is. What would you guys look to do from here?
The cage that she is in, is it like on a platform? Is it just suspended in the middle of these dragon heads, like with nothing above or below?
It is on the ground in the center of in the center part, 20 feet away from you all of this room.
What is... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
How many dragon heads?
5.
Oh, I figured it out.
DM,
Yes.
we are level 18 adventurers. We have
Yes.
heard various stories and tales of the things, real and ephemeral, that walk these worlds.
Absolutely.
Five dragon heads. And how many women?
Now counting 5. And you can see that this woman is dressed in blue.
So we have blue, green, white, red, and black.
That is correct.
Would you like me to make a roll, or do you think this is something that even a barbarian could put together?
I will say this is something that even a barbarian could put together.
would have been hilarious. You fail the roll, and you just be like, "There's something there. I can't think of what it is."
It's something. So yeah,
It's Bahamut.
It's Bahamut. I walk in, and as we all sort of step through, I take a look at this chamber, at the 5 snarling dragon heads, and look down at the 5
women dressed in various colors. And anyone who's looking at Kellan would see my face just pale. Dragon Queen. What?
Holy fucking shit.
Tiamat.
Holy fucking shit.
I will... Oh, this is dumb. I'm going to pull the greatsword out, but I'm not going to move to attack. But I am going to point it at Rosa.
Well, that's a choice.
That is, in fact, a choice.
I would appreciate a little more information. I don't think we've got the whole story here, lady. I'm not
You'll
saying
see.
that I want trouble, but I'm saying I don't appreciate it when people give me half-truths.
What would you like to know?
What's your connection to the Queen of Dragons?
Be my sister, and we'll explain everything. That was the deal, right? Give me my sisters, and I'll explain everything.
You will forgive the impertinence of the phrasing of this question, but are those your heads?
She just looks to you and says nothing.
Just
Why you're all
glance-
stronger together. Because you're the...
Just glancing over, can I tell how this cage is put together, how it might open? Is there a lock? Is there a strange esoteric lever puzzle that we need to do? Or what?
As you walk over with everything that just transpired, and as everybody's just kind of like really tense moment over in one area, and you just kind of like walk over there, and you take a look. Things pretty simple. There's no lock on it. You can't really tell exactly where the door is, because everything kind of looks like it's what is it? It's all one cage. But go ahead and give me a quick perception check for me, please.
So that's a 13.
Okay. It takes a couple quick goes arounds as they're talking. You do it pretty quickly until finally, like, your finger clicks, what is it? Finds its way into a crevice that isn't one of the bars.
Mm-hmm.
And you found the door.
Gonna look over at the group and be like, we doing this? I can open this door right now.
I mean, not to be contradictory, but can you? Or are like laser beams going to shoot out of the walls or something?
I say it might be a good idea to check and make sure something won't explode the minute you pull that damn door open. Addie?
That's a good idea.
Oh,
Somebody want to give me a hand with that? As we all, so it's not so freaking tense in here.
Sorry for the tense attitude. Jeez. Not like we have the fucking Dragon Queen in front of us or anything split into 5 different pieces. It's fine.
Fine. I break things real well. I don't go hunting for things. So, Gwen, Corey, either of you good at poking around shit like that?
I mean, I can get up there. I
think I could...
I can also Misty Step away. So, if something does happen, I can get away pretty quickly.
Coronos thinks for a second, and he goes, I do not think that there's anything that I could do, but I could do something for her, if that makes sense. Failure is only information. Permission to try?
Came this far.
Okay. Coronos will approach the cage, and this is such a bad fucking idea. Put his hand, like his big ass hand, through the bars if he can. Can he?
You get like your fingers through, but then as soon as like it reaches like around like where your knuckles are, that's when you kind of like feel like a give as like you push it through and the door slowly opens as you push and stops when you stop.
Okay, I will look over at the woman in blue and I will say, I am so sorry. Do you mind? And he sort of like looks at his hand as though like, can you please touch my hands?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, please.
Okay.
Remember, you still have Bardic Inspiration.
Oh yeah, I do. That's a 25 without it.
Hey,
I'm banking it for the next.
Yeah, I mean,
as you say that, like you'll see as she like lifts her eyes and her beautiful blue eyes will look back at you, and just like as she's like trying to compose herself, she'll reach out and like scoot herself over just enough to be able to like grab onto like one of your fingers.
Okay. Coronos will smile like very kindly, very reassuringly at her as he casts freedom of movement.
Mm-hmm.
It says you touch a willing creature for the duration of the target's movement is unaffected by difficult terrain, etc. The target can also spend 5 feet of movement to automatically escape from non-magical restraints such as manacles or a creature that has grappled. So if she can escape, then the cage is not magical, and if she can't, then the cage is magical, and now we know.
As you do this, you watch as you can see the little aura that kind of goes where your magic is. And as it goes and it hits the wall and...
Okay, Coronos will turn to the group and say, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is that the cage is magic, but the good news is we know that now. And then he bows weirdly again.
When you bow, can you just give me a dexterity roll for me, please?
Oh, do you want me a saving throw or just in general?
Just a straight dex save. Just a straight dex roll.
Jesus. All right. You know what? Time for some bardic inspiration. All right. I'm inspired to an 18.
As you like turn to like face everybody, like your weapon bounces off the door, slowly pushing it in more. And then as you bow, the weapon just kind of like pushes it, and you hear as it like, and it just
that's so
opens up.
embarrassing.
Oh, buddy.
Coronos, you dumbass.
You'll see as the lady in blue stands up, as she looks over to, as she like walks over to you, as she looks up to you, and she's like, "Thank you. That little bit of compassion, nice."
Coronos is just gonna look back at the group and be like, I feel like it maybe should have been harder than that, and now I am even more scared, but okay.
Okay. So we freed your sister. I'm addressing Rosa. We freed your sister in what is arguably the easiest puzzle to solve, in that it was not in fact a puzzle and was just
It's a door.
Coronos pushing open a door with his sword and his chunky sausage-like fingers. So what exactly is going on here, and why couldn't you do that?
You'll see as like all the sisters kind of like look at you, Gwen, when you say that, and Rosa will speak and say, "He showed compassion in a way that hasn't been shown to any of us in a long time. Sometimes that is the best way to approach things. Sure you can understand?"
Okay, so if Coronos was a dick, he wouldn't have been able to open the door? Is that what?
We'll never know. Now, will we?
But the question still remains unanswered. What do you want from us? What else? Can we go home now? Did we win? Hooray!
You'll hear the woman in blue, Camellia, at this point say, "Not quite. We have one final room to go into." As she as she walks over and pushes the door, she's like, "Follow me and we'll explain everything." And she leads the way down the hallway.
Which one of you was it in our heads?
Yasmin will look at you and say, "It wasn't one of us."
Yeah.
You said things are not always as they seem. Yes?
Yeah.
Gonna look at Gwen and Adeline and Coronos. Things are not always as they seem.
They'll lead you all down this hallway. This is a bit of a shorter hallway before you guys reach to another door with lettering in it that's very much lit up. And you'll see as it says, "Passing through this door to find she who abhors, all which keeps her chained, bound and blamed, raged, untamed. She consumes betrayal with flame." She opens the door. You guys will walk in. A chamber of sorts is in shambles as shadows hide the dome ceiling above. Mountainous piles of unthinkable treasure intermingle with bones that litter the floor. What were once beautiful pillars are now nothing more than crumbling stacks of rubble. The haunting, crashing howl of a dragon rips through the massive room from afar with debris that tumbles and the ground that shakes. Leisurely, a vast scaled figure begins to unfold itself. One by one, one by one by one. The heads of ancient dragons come to attention and extend their necks. First the red, and the black, green, the white, and the blue. But as it moves, suddenly you'll hear the shaking of chains and notice that they're all connected into one body. Low, rumbling laughter makes the chamber shudder, and Tiamat stands in all of her tremendous glory, extending her wings out as you see, shaking to get all the dust out. The sisters will walk past you all and stand in front of the respective dragon heads, at which point you'll see as they turn back to you all, nod their head, and evaporate into a mist that goes into each one of the dragons. You'll see the red dragon head speak, and she says, "Welcome. You have questions and I have answers.
Uh, yeah. I think the first question is what, followed very closely by why.
Also, who?
No, I think we know who. Pretty sure
No,
we know
we
who.
definitely know who.
I mean, more of who did this.
Oh, well, okay, sure.
I'm relatively sure that Queen of Dragons did not do this to herself.
You-
Some people are into it. Just
You're
don't
right.
shame the Dragon Queen, okay?
You're right, but in this instance, this was not a chaining of my own doing. I'm sure you've heard the stories of my supposed how do you put it? My supposed surrendering and new position here within the Nine Hells.
Is it one that you wanted, this position, or have you been forced into it against your will?
I allowed that rat bastard to keep me down here and spread throughout all of your world how I gave up my position, how I was not good at it whatsoever, how I could barely keep things running and keep the demons out of Avernus, out of the Nine Hells. But let me tell you, I was fucking good at my job.
Do you know what they call you on the material plane?
Many things. I prefer the Queen of Dragons. I like that tone. The tone of the name.
We're told that you are concerned mostly with spreading evil, defeating good, propping up your childer, for lack of a better word.
I only look to equalize things. Those that claim to be good, are they really good? Honestly? How many people do you know claim that title of a good person, a good being, but you know just how vile and sinister they may be?
I mean, you seem to know all of us well enough. You know what we've seen and what we've been through.
Just enough. Now, the question of as to why I brought you here was to show, and she'll also look at Coronos, like, and hopefully explain a little bit that maybe, just maybe, you all can take back a little something to the material plane and kind of expose some things and clear up the falsehoods about what you've seen here and why I'm actually and where I'm actually at. But I actually do have a request for you all, besides seeing my story and experiencing how we're not so different from one another. I was hoping you would be able to help me.
Okay. I'm listening.
The ruby rod of Asmodeus is currently in the possession of Bell and his forge. I want you to bring it to me.
Thou like the god of murder?
No, sorry, pronunciations. Bell, Bel.
Good. I wanted to make sure real quick.
Never hurts.
Is that a name I should know?
You would know based on current, what is it? Unless somebody else may have that information. Okay. You would know that.
Archdevil.
Yep.
Sorry, I missed it.
Archdevil of the Nine Hells, Archduke of Avernus, to be exact.
Sure. Great. Love this for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Why does he have it? And why do you want it?
He has it because he's currently serving in my position. I say that as if I really want to be here, but I just want to just kind of stick it to both Asmodeus mostly, to bring me his blessed ruby rod that I helped make, so I can fucking destroy it. I made it. Why can't I destroy it and then cry about it for the rest of eternity? I will never make him another fucking thing for as long as he's alive. The shrill.
Well,
Okay.
what if... Because I do not want to diminish the talents of my friends, but an Archduke of Hell is... that's a... strong enemy. What if we could bring you to the Ruby Rod and help you fight him?
You'll see as she'll raise herself up and almost like she's standing, you'll see as her knees are bent, and as she gets to a certain point, they stop and you hear the tightening of the chains around her neck. That connect her to this room before she kind of lays back down, and she says, I've tried that. I can't get out of here.
Oh, the chain... They're just chains, right? I mean, chains can be broken.
You'll see as one of the dragon heads will turn over to it and will unleash its breath weapon, and nothing happens to the chains.
Can I try something really stupid?
Sure.
Okay.
My favorite sentence in D&D.
So Coronos, hold on, I'm trying to find the spell that I want to do. Coronos will sort of watch that happen. Where is the damn spell? Hold on, this is not going to be cool if I can't find the spell that I want in my list. Hold on, I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. Okay. So Coronos will look at the this is so dumb. Coronos will watch the dragon breath happen and kind of go, well, failure is always information. And go over to where the chain is affixed into the wall. Is it just one point, or are there multiple points? How is this set up?
So it's 5 chains that are connected to the walls, right? So it's for one for each one of her heads.
Okay,
and
cool.
Yeah.
I will cast I'm gonna cast Meld into Stone. And so what you see is Coronos sort of leans against the wall, and then right next to where the chain is. And then as he does that, he sort of just slowly gets absorbed into the stone. And then he reverses it and he bursts out of it, and he does take a shit ton of damage, but is worth it for this moment. So he takes 23 points of damage. Does the chain pop out of the wall when he breaks the stone coming out of it?
Okay, Coronos, go ahead and roll me a D100.
Okay.
We're gonna see if this works.
Okay.
I don't want to say no. I can't think of anything to see. We could go a lot of ways, so I figure percentile die. You have
100.
to get.
It's a 74.
You watch as Coronos like blends in, just goes in, sinks right into it, and then as he pushes on out, it's slow, right? So it's like a slow as like the walls of it just start pushing out very slowly, and then suddenly a huge burst goes on through as one of the chain anchors blasts on through, and you watch as one of the chains is now free, and you take a significant amount of damage, but you manage to break free one of the chains that ties down Tiamat.
How many more are there?
4.
There's 4. So, okay. Mathematically, without... Oh, no! I'm healing potions!
You're healing potions.
I could just
but
pound
also-
a healing potion. I don't know.
I've also got some cure wounds for you. Like we could try.
I mean, also, like, I was like, do you have the spell slots for that? How many spell slots do you have to use for that?
Because the nice thing is that this is... So I have... It's a 3rd level spell, but I can cast it higher.
It's fair.
So I can just burn through... Because I've got... So I have 2 left, and then I could just use my 4th. And I could just do that. I mean, I'd be blowing a lot of spell slots, but we
You
could free Tiamat
would.
and bring her
We also
with us to
might
help.
need those spell slots, and my other concern is the fact
Okay,
that
but are the spell slots more important than the dragon?
Also, I'm just gonna throw out there that it would be kind of badass.
to write up on
It is.
Tiamat.
It would just be badass.
My other concern is whether or not it's just the chains, or there might be more than just the chains. keeping
Yeah,
her
can
trapped down
I
here.
do any kind of like magic sense to see are the chains a metaphor?
Yeah. Chains are a metaphor for the past.
Jesus Christ.
What
I feel
could the
like-
metaphor be? What is it? Go ahead and give me an Arcana check to see, like, for anything else that may be in here, or for the types of magic that may be, enforcing with that. So go for it.
Um, 15.
Well, you can definitely pick up there's a different type of divine magic that happens to be resonating from what Tiamat is currently producing to what is circling around the chains. And you can see that, or you can kind of pick up on the general vibe with the Arcana check, is that as you can probably even walk over there and see that the chain that was now once dangling and essentially like anchored to the wall itself, starting to rust away, as though it's like instantly in your hand, is like rusting away, as though it's been there for like a significant amount of time.
Wait,
No, I can't. Maybe you can try, but there wasn't anything else like keeping that. It seemed beyond the chains.
Just the chains themselves to this area was what was keeping her there, but it's strong enough magic that had been able to keep her there until Coronos had figured out a roundabout way to get there.
And we can attempt it. My worry is that maybe, like, ideally it's just 3 more spell slots and 3 more spell casts and
Oh,
some
wait.
damage that we heal.
Wait, so you said that the chains aren't magic, right?
The one that you popped out is no longer enchanted. No.
But the rest of them are.
Can I just cast freedom of movement? Because if it's not a magical chain, the target automatically escapes from non-magical restraints.
Right. But you do have 4 other magical chains that are currently.
Oh, so just the one that I broke was non-magical?
That
Yeah.
is now non-magical.
Once it pulls out of the wall, it reverts.
4 more spell slots, and then maybe it doesn't work every time. Maybe you miscalculate and you don't get the chain, and then that suddenly becomes 6 spell slots. That's my worry.
We can take it long.
Will Tiamat allow us to take a long rest?
Oh God.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've done Tiamat a solid. I don't know. Like, what do you all think? Like, I mean, it's feasible. I might die, but even if I die,
please don't die. I
get a
don't have
dragon.
resurrection or a diamond.
no,
I was
it's
gonna
fine.
say-
I accept my fate. This is such a dumb idea.
We
It worked.
we may not be able to free the original form of the Dragon Queen herself, but she has proven that she has the power to produce humanoid avatars for herself. And now that all 5 of them are free to walk, Rosa herself said that they are powerful together. It may not be Tiamat in her full form, but it is still even a fraction of that power could bring down gods know what.
I mean, hey, then it suddenly becomes 9 of us versus 1 Baron of Hell.
What would you guys like to do?
Okay, I'm gonna walk around to face Queen of fucking Dragons directly. Jesus. This is the second time I've confronted Tiamat, by the by, in a one-shot. Just throwing that out there. The fuck? Okay, I will look up at Tiamat. My lady, we have freed your avatars. As much as I would like to think that my companions and I would be able to take on a literal Archduke of Hell, that might be a little bit beyond our capability. But you are free to walk outside of this chamber now that we've freed all of your sisters. Is that true?
My sisters were only there to be able to draw you and to bring you out. To be able to get here. So you can see my story.
Then is there anything...
Maybe with just a little bit more of a push, I could possibly be able to send them with you.
What do you need?
You'll see as she'll close all of her eyes, as you'll see as she'll push out the forms back out to you. But now instead of normal, adventuring kind of clothes and whatnot, they are now looking to be battle-readied avatars in their own respective forms and in their own respective colors. They won't be able to stand for too much, not in comparison to you all, but I believe that there'll be enough help. You've said already, as we've all said already, we're stronger together, right?
Well, Kellan, does that satisfy you?
Coronos, I think you could do it, but we need you, buddy. I don't much like the idea of having to leave you all down here by your lonesome. I don't have a way to bring you back. Gwen and Addie don't.
Coronos will look at the group and say, it may be that this is a very, very bad idea, but...
Oh, this is a terrible goddamn idea.
But I think sometimes in righting a wrong and in fixing the damage that has been done, sometimes one must risk, and sometimes one must sacrifice, and sometimes one must fail. I say let's do it. I don't know. It's a one shot. What do we got to lose, gang? What do you think?
Look, I'm going to abstain from the greater conversation because I'm all for Team Dumb Plan.
Okay.
So it basically you have to convince Aubrey and Laura because I'm here for it. I'm ready for the shenaniganery. So
My worry,
Laura.
I mean, my worry is that you would have to roll that luck roll each time, and then suddenly 4 becomes 6 becomes 8, and then we can't take a long rest.
That's fair.
And then suddenly it's like, I have no spell slots. We have to go fight a Hell Baron.
With a dragon.
with
Literal
the dragon.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Okay. You really want to do this, big guy?
I'm willing to do a grand experiment.
If you die, I'm gonna be so fucking mad at you. I hope you understand that.
Coronos will lean down so he's at eye level with Kellan, and he says, if I die, you will never get rid of my ghost. I am going to haunt you every day until forever. You are going to be so annoyed. And guess what? When I am dead, you cannot get rid of me. I just appear. I just go through walls. I just go boom. And then you're like, oh no, Coronos, he's back again. Oh, I hate this ghost. It's going to be so annoying, and I'm looking forward to it. And then he'll Oh no, you go ahead.
Before you go, I'm going to take off my ring of mind shielding and I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
You can't benefit from the mind shielding properties, but if you die while using it, the ring will house your soul, and then we can figure out what to do with your soul afterwards.
Excellent. This is good. I like this plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first
I
thing
don't
I'm
know
going
how you can fit it on your giant fingers, but it's a magic ring.
Pinky
So
ring.
it works.
That's fine.
Okay, so the
It's a
first
toe
thing
ring.
I'm going to do, and we're gonna think this through, we're gonna do it proper. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I am going to burn another spell slot.
Okay.
Just what are you doing?
I'm here for it. Let's fucking go,
Okay,
yeah.
So we're gonna do
This
I'm
is
gonna
a one shot.
I'm gonna do Cure Wounds at level 6 and get. Oh god, the dice are moving so slow. 38 points. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that brings me up to 107. Okay. So then
Cool.
I'm going. Okay, hold on. Let me work that. Then I'm going to go over to one of the chains.
As you
So-
do that, roll me the percentile die. Your number to beat is 60.
60? Okay. That's at 82. Is it? 28. Okay.
This time, as you try and do it, expecting it to work this time, you push on through, and as you expect it to kind of, push on out, you just hit that magical chain and just does not budge, and you're kind of stuck in there.
Okay. Coronos will bend his head out of the wall as he's pushing on it, and he goes, it's not working. What do we think? He's like,
Okay.
because like honestly, right now I've only really burned through like 2 spell slots. We could just say this was a fun experiment and move on, but it I don't know.
You've got thinking face there, Gwen.
I live for the shenanigans, so I have to abstain from the conversation because for me I'm just like, nah, do it till it works. So the adults in the room need to actually have this conversation because I cannot, because it's not me.
Okay, DM.
Why are you making me be an adult?
Okay. If you have perchance one very large stony boy and one very large strong Cate, who could potentially get even stronger when she rages, working in tandem with a push and a pull. How would we feel about that?
Wait.
I guess my like player question is, do I have to roll the percentile dice every single time?
Yeah.
You
Because
will.
because I feel like that's the part that, you know what I mean?
You will, and I'll give you, what is it? I'll even give you this. I'll ask you your thing real shortly, Aubrey. But if the first one that you did, I had you roll, you needed to beat 70. This is the second one, it's 60. I'll leave that with you.
Okay.
Aubrey, what were you going to ask?
I have shatter. Is there a point where I like just be like, come out of the wall? Can everybody? Well, it's only a 10-foot radius, so it's not that big. But being like, please move, and then just
if you do that in tandem with Kellan helping Coronos out, I'll drop this down, the second one down to 40.
I have nothing to help with this. I'm just watching. So
if it's metal, it has disadvantage on its saving throw.
Okay, to save time, I just rolled a percentage dice 4 times. Would you like me just to tell you the results?
With all of them helping you, yes.
Okay. The first one was a 50. The second one was a 90. The third one was a 100 on the dice. It was a 00 and a 1. So I don't know if you want to count that as 100 or a 1.
That's going to be a 1.
And then the third one was 66.
Okay, cool. You took the damage for all those.
I haven't yet. I gotta roll for it.
Sweet Jesus.
You'll take the damage. You knocked out 3 out of the 4 more things that you did.
Oh, did we need to spend a spell slot for each one? Because shatter is a spell.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just trying to see if it worked before throwing it in there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because I was trying not to blow through all of my spell slots because I don't have as many because I am
so
hard.
At this point for you all, you notice as like this massive crack has started to formulate at every chain anchor point that you guys have pushed out. So now it's gotten bigger and wider, which has helped you guys essentially like make this a bit easier with your shatter spell. You're pulling with what Coronos is doing. It's all helping to be able to break it down. And with this last one, it should be the easiest one out of the bunch. And for number's sake, it's going from 70 to 10. Is your DC on the percentile die?
It's a 51.
Fuck yeah, boy.
Fuck yeah, boy.
And you guys try it one more time. One last one. You fucking bust on through as the chain shatters on through and they all come crashing down. You all see as soon as that happens, Tiamat fully stands up before you all, shakes her wings out even more so, gives herself a little bit of a nice stretch. It's been a millennia, so get
I request at least a short rest.
I do need to roll 32 d6 of damage, but we'll see.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is why I was like, let's do them one at a time so we can heal you between.
Before you do that, Coronos, I will say, she'll stand up and you'll see like the battle-ready avatars that she had ready prepped up for you guys. Suddenly mystify and go back in her, as she shoots her wings out and just a thing of radiant, not radiant, but a thing of like fiery heat just shoots out from her dragon wings as they spread on through, and the heat of it starts to overcome you all, and you're going to take the effects of a long rest.
Hey!
Thank God.
Wait.
That's what we call a benevolent DM.
Yes, yes indeed.
That's
Everyone
what,
say
that's
thank
what
you,
happens when you're
Justin.
willing to reward our
Thank you,
bullshit.
Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Okay. I'm gonna roll 30. It's the most I've ever rolled.
No, I don't.
Don't do it.
You don't have
Make
to.
it
If you
better.
want to, just for poops and giggles, I'm
I
here
want
to see the
I
number.
want to see what would have. I just like out of curiosity. That's so neat. I want to live. That was 100.
Hey!
That was 112. So I would have lived canonically.
Burly.
Perfect. Perfect.
Cool.
That's what. That feels really low.
Thank God for bad rolls, I guess.
I know, right?
Yeah. So yeah,
I want to do it again just to see what happens.
Tiamat stands before you all, and she says, "I'm generally not for the abrasive approach, but you all seem to be very much showing me that this is a way that can be done. So, if you don't mind, let's get this rod. Help me get this rod, and I'll reward you appropriately."
Let's go.
Let's
Yeah.
fucking go.
Okay. She'll look. One of the heads will make itself down and just essentially like make itself into like that of a bridge, for you to essentially on her back.
Yeah, we're ready.
We're right at Tiamat!
This is the best day of my life.
Amazing. I'm
Yep.
so ready for this.
let's
Love
go.
it.
Cool. So as you guys get onto Tiamat's back, you'll see as like she'll like get herself going towards the middle of the room, shake her wings one more time before she jumps, and her head just beeline it straight through the ceiling as it bursts on through. You guys holding on tight as she starts flying and flaps, and she goes and does like a little bit of a spin up into the sky, as she fully extends out her massive 100-foot wings, so 200 feet altogether out, as she starts making her way and starts flying over to where Belle's tower is at. And you'll see as she comes crashing on through, as she like flies on through, like you'll see little bits of scattering here and there of devils that are around. Yeah, technically they are gigantic, so it's like not necessarily 100. It was probably what, like 20 feet? 20 feet by 20 feet? So no, she's big. For dramatic sake, I wanted to go that far, but yeah, you're right. She big. And what is it? No, she flies on through. You see as like the devils start like scattering around as she like beelines it straight through, as you hear her as she says, "Hang on tight." And she crashes right on through and beats straight down into Belle's tower. And if you would take a look onto the owlbear, you'll see as initially I had you guys all down there, but now you'll see as Tiamat brings you all down, and I'll bring you all up here in this general area.
Gigantic!
She big.
Big.
Lord.
Big.
You'll see as like she lands there and she just like shakes herself off and like looks beeline directly at Belle. As he's kind of like just co-chilling. She bashes through, but he looks like he gives two fucks at all as to like what just transpired. And he's just like, the fuck are you doing out of your home? Like, I've come for my vengeance. I'm taking a spot back. And most importantly, I'm going to destroy that fucking thing in your hand. And when she says that, I want you to go ahead and roll for initiative.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that tracks. Now, hold on, guys. Justin did say that not every initiative roll is for combat, so who knows? But I got an 8.
That's an 11 from me.
Okay.
We're all a little intimidated, I guess.
A little bit.
Coronos, you got a
Coronos.
face.
I got a 3.
Is that what you
Another-
rolled every single initiative?
I rolled an 8 one time, I think.
It's
I don't
true.
remember.
All right, so Coronos, that's a 3. Gwen, what was yours again?
8.
8. Adeline, what was yours?
11.
11. Kellan, what'd you get?
I got a 5.
We're such epic heroes, guys.
We're gonna
We're
die.
like incredibly epic heroes, but we never we're like, oh no, you go first. No, you go first.
It's because we're all bottoms. That's, I think, the
Yes.
problem here is that we are great adventurers, but we're all bottoms and can't fucking
Entire
go first.
party of bottoms.
Can't make a goddamn decision to save our fucking lives, apparently.
Lesbian sheep, all of us.
Cool. Starting off at the top of the round with Tiamat moving up moving up and going beeline straight for Belle. You'll see as she'll go in for the chromatic orb and she'll go in for not the chromatic orb but the chromatic flame, which she's going to have to make a dexterity saving throw of 27. And that is going to be a 24, which misses. So he's going to take 11 d12 damage. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and roll this d6 and see where we go. It's gonna be fire damage. No, it's not gonna be fire damage. He's gonna take 64 points of 69 points. Nice. What is it? We're gonna say cold damage. As he is okay. Yeah, he's going to take that damage. Sorry about that. That is going to be her. She's also going to do one more attack with her tail. As she she unleashes that cold damage on him and slaps the living hell out of him with with her tail, and that's going to be a dirty 20 to hit. And that is going to deal about, let's see, not going to deal a lot of damage, but she is going to put a bit of a hurt as she's going to take 15 points of damage. You are going to notice as like his demons begin to move, they are going to begin commencing their attacks on Tiamat, as they do see she's a bit of a more of a threat than what they perceive with you all. So they're going to do, one of them's going to, I shouldn't have moved this guy yet because it's not his turn, but he's going to do, what is it? He's going to do his attacks. With a natural 20. Cool beans. So that brings up an interesting mechanic that I like to use in my D&D games. which is the critical hits revise sheet, and that is going to result in another d20 dice roll that we'll do to see what happens when we do this, because it is piercing damage. What will end up happening as the devil goes down to begin its attack on Tiamat. I rolled a 17. It's going to be rolling the damage dice twice, adding them together. And because she is a dragon god, we are going to negate the major injury in this case. So, coolness. So she's going to take 36 points of piercing damage. And yeah, that is their first attack. Second attack is going to be with a is going to miss as it hits as he strikes it down. Doesn't make contact and break through any of her dragging with any of her dragon stuff. So with that being said, it is Adeline's turn. Adeline, you're up. What would you like to do?
Same, I'm muted, so I'm going to unmute myself. And I am going to start by activating my Unbreakable Majesty. And as a bonus action, I assume a majestic presence for 1 minute or until I'm incapacitated. And it does things if they attack me. Currently nothing is attacking me, but as my action, would a fiend count as a monster?
I would say no.
Because I was looking through the spell itself, and it does not specify what it considers a monster.
You know what? In this case, I'll say we're good for it.
Yeah,
it'll count.
It was either that. I have two options: dominate monster or dominate person.
Fair enough. We'll go with dominate monster.
Yep. Because those are the only two options it gives you. So I am going to look at our buddy over here near the bridge, and be like, you know, this bell has probably screwed you over at some point. Don't you really want to get revenge? I'm gonna dominate monster.
Okay. What's it got to do?
He has to make a DC 19 Wisdom save.
DC 19 Wisdom save.
That is wildly high.
That fails.
That fails. So, and I can use an action to take total and precise control of him next turn.
Okay.
Until the end of my next turn, takes only the actions you choose and doesn't do anything I don't allow it to do. During this time, you can also cause the creature to use reaction. Requires you a reaction as well. And every time he will take damage. And his whole thing, the whole thing I wanted to do is just help out our friend Tiamat against spell.
Okay. Cool. As soon as you mentioned that, he kind of like, what is it? You see as he kind of looks, it's like he thinks about it for a little bit, and he's just kind of like looks up at Belle, looks back at you, looks back, goes back and forth a little bit before you see as he like turns his focus over from Tiamat to Belle at this point. Is there anything else that you'd like to do with your turn?
That is my entire turn.
Cool. With that being said, Belle is going to try and do a little something that is going to involve him. I'm gonna break out the big guns for this one, just because why not? It's fun. He is going to use the ruby rod as a weapon, and he goes for the hit with. That's a fail. Okay, coolness. Despite like him being in such close quarters, he tries to use the ruby rod, but it's like one of Tiamat's head grabs onto it to keep him from making that contact. So while he misses it the first time, he will try and use he'll try and bash it one more time on her. This time it will hit, as you see it breaks free and he bashes it alongside of Tiamat, and she's going to take 51 points of bludgeoning damage. At which point you'll see as he kind of like pushes as much of himself away from her, and he says, "This was not part of the fucking deal. You are breaking all the decorum here that's been established. Stop it." With that being said, Gwen, you're up. Kellan, you're on deck.
Wonderful. There's only one thing that I want to do because it's not an attack, but I'm going to run up to Tiamat, and I'm assuming that she is willing for us to cast spells on her.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to cast Protection from Good and Evil on her.
Okay.
Specifically against fiends. Which means that creatures of this type have disadvantage on attack rolls against her, and then she also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Okay.
And that lasts 10 minutes.
Nice.
So, let's go. So I'm going to run up, and then I'm gonna position myself so that ideally I'm in position to attack next turn maybe, but not. I don't want to be up there right this second.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
I believe that is everything. I just really, really, really wanted to get that done. So.
Okay. Cool. Kellan, you're up. Coronos, you're on deck.
I'm gonna fucking rage.
Let's
because
fucking go.
Obviously. So yeah, there is a war cry that bellows over the stones and throughout this hellish chamber. And I would like to take a flying, running leap across the battlefield here. To get to our big ugly buddy. Not Belle. I'm gonna stay away from Belle for now.
Okay.
But I'm gonna smack his demon friend twice in the face. And I'm talking just like full tilt, barbarian run, sword in both hands, overhead strike right to the fucking face.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Let's do this.
Maybe. We'll see what the dice say. Well, that's a 29.
That's definitely gonna hit.
Cool.
Is that a natty 20?
No, that is not a natty 20. I wish it was. One of these days, because natty 20s are nasty from this barbarian type. Okay. So we've got 10 slashing damage to our demon buddy, with potentially a 4 necrotic on his next turn with the wounding, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop the Divine Fury into that as well.
Okay.
For this first attack.
Bet.
And that's another 10 radiant damage.
Alrighty, sounds good.
And then attack number 2. Let's go.
Let's go.
That's a 30 to hit.
That 30 absolutely does hit.
For 18 damage.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
That's bonus action, that's movement, that's my action. I still got a little bit of movement. Can I like squeak back to like duck under one of the giant dragon legs?
Yeah, I'll allow it. you just like, as like she's digging into it, like you just did all the damage to it. You just kind of like sneak back in and just kind of like take cover behind it.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's the size of a large redwood. So I'm not gonna claim cover, but I don't want to be directly in its path. That's all.
Absolutely. No, I feel that.
That's my turn.
Cool beans. Coronos, you're on deck.
Okay. You said on deck and I got nervous. Do you mean it's my turn?
Yeah, you're on turn. It's your turn.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. I was just like, yeah, I will patiently wait.
No.
So Coronos is going to reach into his coat of many pockets and pull out a vial. DM, this is where I would like you to make the call. If I wanted to put poison on my sword, would that count as an action, or could I do that as my bonus action and then make my attack?
I'll let you do that as your bonus action.
Okay, cool. So, Coronos is going to reach into his thing, take out a scimitar, and rub a bunch of sticky black goo onto his sword, and then he is going to charge for the demon that is not currently being dominated.
Okay. Coolness.
And I'm going to try and hit him with my cool guy scimitar.
Alrighty.
There I go. Please, God. Well, that was a 6.
A 6 will not hit.
Probably
it's
not.
as
Coronos
you go
just
up.
falls down.
No.
It's
Oh,
cool. Well, the
buddy.
poison will stay on my sword, so that could be something I try next round. And Coronos will then be like, "Oh no, I'm so tired from breaking all those chains," and back up to safety.
Okay.
Crush.
Coolness. Crushing it. All right. Coolness. So it's going to be the dominated devil's turn. Does he need to make a save at all when it comes to his turn, or at the end of his turn?
When it's only when it gets, let's see, I had the spell open and then I closed it. I think it's for Dominate Monster, it is so it will only make the save if I lose concentration or if it takes damage.
Okay.
Until the end
good.
of your next turn, the creature takes only action you choose and doesn't do anything. During this time, you can also each time the creature takes damage, it makes a new Wisdom saving throw against the spell. Saving throw succeeds, the spell ends.
Cool. And did you want it to attack Bell?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. And it's just going to go straight ahead and do that. So let's see what happens. That's going to hit with a 21. And that's going to be 2d8 plus 6 damage for the first one. So it's going to be 8, 16, 24. And then it is going to fail the second one. So Bell is going to take 24 points of piercing damage from the fork, as this guy is going to rush on up and do the stabs on it. And he's going to go for poops and giggles, hit him with his head, which is definitely going to hit, as he takes 1d10 plus 6 piercing damage. And that's going to be 16 points. If the creature is anything other than that, so that means he's going to make a Constitution saving throw, because he is none of those things. But boy, does he have a con save, and that's going to pass. And so that is going to be his turn, bringing it back up to Tiamat, as she's going to continue to try and wreck his shit. As she is going to do that, she's going to hit him up with that bite attack, though. That's going to pass with, 2 2d12 plus 10 damage. .24 points of damage. Cool beans. She'll do that with a bite. She's going to hit him again with a claw. And that's going to be 2d10 plus 10. And that's going to be 29 points of damage. And then hit him one more time with a tail attack. But that one is not going to... Actually, that one's going to pass too. So, yeah, okay, coolness. It's going to be 26 points. And he takes another 26 points of damage. The Horned Devil is going to see Coronos and is going to try and do an attack against you, Coronos.
Okay.
Does a 16 hit?
It will not.
Okay. Luckily for you, like you notice as he comes down with his fork and he stabs and misses just where you were as you managed to move yourself over. He goes for another fork attack. Almost caught. He misses again before he comes back around. Not back around, but he tries to stab his fork into you both times before finally he gets tired and tries to hit you with a hurled fire. Does a 12 hit?
It will not.
Okay. He misses once more. With that being said, it is now Adeline's turn. Adeline, what do you got?
DM.
Yes.
Real quick, I have a reaction for the Sentinel feat.
Yes. What you got?
Because someone tried to shit rock my friend right next to me, I can smack them in retaliation.
Sweet.
If you don't mind.
Absolutely. Go for it.
That's a 31.
Will absolutely hit.
For 14 points of slashing damage, and the devil's speed, I believe, is reduced to 0 with Sentinel attack.
Okay.
So he ain't going nowhere.
Fuck yeah, boy. Okay. Cool beans. Well, now it is Adeline's turn. What do you have?
As my action, I am going to start up a counter charm. As start playing and until the end of my next turn. Any of my friends with that can hear me play the music have advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed.
Okay.
And then I am going to spend my bonus action for Mantle of Majesty, which allows me to cast command without using a spell slot, and I can keep recasting it for 1 minute as a bonus action. And I'm going to point at Bell, and I'm going to tell him to drop the scepter.
Ooh, okay.
And it's another 19 will save.
19 will save.
Swear to God, if this fucking works.
That's a 14, but I'm going to say he passes.
Goddamn legendary resistance.
God damn it. Well, I could try again next turn. I can burn through. This is the legendary shit.
Okay. Cool beans. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna move my movement to try to not be clumped up near anybody so I don't get hit by any fucking cones or anything.
Okay. Cool beans. Well, at this point, as this is all going down, he's a pretty bit bloodied at this point. Can I have everybody make a DC 23 dexterity saving throw, please?
I have a fucking plus 12, and I rolled a 16. This is horribly upsetting.
Do you want to know? I literally cannot pass this unless I nat 20.
Yeah, same.
Seriously?
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
+3 to my dex. Same.
Same. That's 15.
That is a 14.
Yeah, well, I got an 8.
Okay. It sounds like everybody failed.
Yeah, I think it's what it sounds like, doesn't
God damn it.
Does this consider is this considered an attack?
It is a spell, yes.
Would my unbreakable majesty do anything? Because whenever a creature tries to attack me for the first time on a turn, they must make a charisma saving throw. On a fail, they cannot attack this turn and must choose a new target, or the attack is wasted. On a success, they can attack, but it is disadvantage on any saving throw it makes against my spells on my next turn.
It was DC 19.
Yeah.
That's what is it? That's an 18, but he's going to pass it.
Motherfucker. But he has
Burn through those
disadvantage.
resistances.
But he has
Burn through those
disadvantage on any saving throw he makes against my spells until his next turn,
Okay.
or until the end of my next turn. I'm gonna get him to drop that fucking scepter.
In the meantime, as that goes on, I'm you guys are going to take, ouch. Ouch.
I like that.
So you guys watch you all incidentally hear some pretty loud noises, as it sounds like something is falling, and they're big, and they're leaving. You're hearing as they're like leaving these mass like their loud explosions are coming down, as before you see these a rain of meteors start to drop down around you all. You're all going to take 154 points of damage.
What kind of damage?
Fire and bludgeoning.
I am unconscious.
Wait, how much was it?
What?
154.
Okay. Well,
Question. Any chance you would allow these meteors to be considered a missile attack?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, fuck yeah, really?
It's the same principle as that of like a ballistic missile.
Okay, then I am going to attempt to deflect missiles on myself. I can use my reaction to deflect or catch missiles when you are hit by a ranged attack.
Okay. Now, you can go ahead and do that. For Coronos and Kellan, you both are close enough to Tiamat that I will allow you a dexterity roll to see if whether or not you're able to make it there in time, and she will end up taking the brunt of it.
oh no, Tiamat. Okay.
She has a bajillion hit points.
Yeah.
She'll be fine. So when
Okay, question. Now this is where it gets important. So I can deflect missiles, and the whole thing is I'm attempting to reduce the amount of damage that one missile does down to 0, so I can then throw the meteor back at the others and try and like shatter them, right? That would be the goal. So how much damage does just one do? What is the number that I have to try and beat here so I can actually do that? Otherwise I just reduce the damage that I take, and I don't know how to work on that mechanically.
So
there's a lot of them.
So it's just a shit ton of meteors, right? So if you're looking to at least kind of like help out with your friend, what is it? Give me a dexterity check.
Okay.
Yeah, give me a straight dexterity check, and add your proficiency bonus too.
Okay. 21.
Perfect. You jump up into the sky as you catch one, and as you grab it, you pretty much, it's like the scene, it's like a, what is it? It's like an anime scene where you grab onto it and you like grab it. It pushes you about like 5-10 feet, and then like taking the momentum, flipping it around, and just like tossing it. One of the meteors starts to come down on Coronos and Kellan, or did you want to do it to Adeline?
That's a good question.
Any bludgeoning damage I take is halved.
Yeah,
fine.
it's this damage is more than my health.
Great. So
down.
Adeline then, because Adeline's
Okay.
squishy. And yeah.
Yeah, no, you toss it over there, and as one is about to like smash into Adeline, bigger than what she is, Adeline, you watch as like this meteor just comes out of nowhere and just like cracks over. I'm just going to have you take 77 points of bludgeoning damage from the from that. You won't take the fire damage.
Okay, thank you. How does concentration work again? I don't remember. 'Cause I have to make concentration.
Concentration DC 10.
Oh, because I gotta do concentration for my dominate monster.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got exactly a 10.
Nice. We'll go with it. Now for Kellan and Coronos, dexterity check for the both of you to see if you can manage to get underneath. Acrobatics or dexterity to get underneath. Acrobatics, athletics, or a straight dexterity check to be able to make it underneath Tiamat.
Oh wait, you'll allow me athletics?
I'll allow you athletics.
Okay, then I got a 27.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Feel bad.
31.
How much?
31 with
Nice.
athletics. Let's go, baby.
Plus 12, baby. Alrighty. Cool beans. As like you watch as what is it? Like the meteors are going around you all, and you like turn around and like manage to get underneath her to be able to avoid the damage. And then everything kind of rains around you guys. I won't let you she absorbs the rest of that for you all, and she's going to take that 154 points of damage.
She's fine.
She's legitimately fine.
Coolness. That's Belle's turn. It is now Gwen's turn. Gwen, you're up. Kellan, you're on deck.
Great. Well, knowing that Adeline is at least safe for now, I'm gonna go join Coronos and Kellan, and I am going to attempt to stab the fun little demon there on the left. Coronos is not the only one with poison, though. So as I'm running, I'm going to coat my weapon with purple worm poison.
Okay.
Because if it hits, that'll be great. And once I get up, because I'm so much shorter than Coronos, I kind of imagine it's this beautiful thing where I like leap over his shoulder, and I'm trying to make like a super cool show of it. And if I miss, it's gonna be really embarrassing. But I'm really hoping that I can get a couple good jabs in. And then, you know what? I'm going to throw in a flurry of blows just to kind of get a couple little punches in too, because why not? That's what I do.
Yeah, I feel you.
So let's see if this works. Let's see. The first one is 26.
26 will hit.
Wonderful. The second one is a 27.
Absolutely will hit.
Wonderful. My flurry of blows is probably not going to hit at a 15.
No. It will not
Okay.
hit.
Fantastic. So let me roll this damage here. 10, and then the purple worm poison. Oh, can he make a DC 19 Constitution saving throw?
How many points of damage did you do again?
I did 20 before the poison. So I need to know if he's still alive, then he has to make a con save. But
how would you like to do this for his death?
hell yeah! All right. So here's the thing: Coronos and Kellan are right near Tiamat, right? Like they're like underneath her, kind of like out of the way of the meteors. This means that instead of having to jump around Coronos or over him, I'm actually going to take this time to actually run up Tiamat's tail, and then once I'm on her hind leg, I'm going to jump out, like jump over her, like jump off of her leg, and I'm going to just take my rapier. And it's kind of weird because this is not how you should handle a rapier by all, like for all intents and purposes, but it doesn't matter because I have a plan. So what I'm going to do is the first one, it's just a quick slash down and then up as I land, just like right in front of him, almost like superhero pose, but not quite, because like we're not superheroes.
Right.
So yeah, so quick slash down and then stab up as I land on one knee, just kind of like right through his gut with this purple worm poison coated rapier.
Okay. Cool beans. And as that happens, like you watch, it just kind of like splits over with that blade that's in him, and just kind of like topples over, and he falls off the platform. You hear like a very subtle thump as he lands into the lava below.
Love that for us.
Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
I believe that is everything. Cause yeah, I did bonus, I did move, I did my 2 attacks. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Cool beans. Kellan, you're up, and Coronos, you're on deck.
All right. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I am already raging, so I don't need. I still have a bonus action here that I can use. Thank God for that. So what I'm gonna do with that bonus action is, there is a medallion on my chest that shows a woman's face screaming in a battle cry, surrounded by the closed wings of a crow. I'm going to grip that tight, and as I run forward, wings are going to shoot from my back, black and massive and shining, as I use my celestial revelation, which gives me, with Radiant Soul, a flying speed equal to my walking speed. And I get a little extra radiant damage when I smack things. So like an angel of death, I shoot out from under Tiamat's legs, great sword in hand, and just slice across at Belle's face as I go screaming by.
Nice.
Quite literally screaming.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna try and hit him twice, because why not?
Absolutely.
It's a 23.
23 is absolutely going to hit him.
Cool. That second one's a natural one, though.
Ooh, nope.
Okay. Well, that first hit, oh god, that is max damage. So 18 slashing damage, 4 necrotic damage from the Great Sword of Wounding, 6 damage, 6 radiant damage from the Revelation. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw the Divine Fury in there.
Okay.
For another 11 points of radiant damage.
I am here for it. And where do you do the slash again?
Literally, so I'll go screaming out from under Tiamat's legs on my black angelic wings and just slice straight through, like across his torso. And then my second attempt is when I wheel back and try to get him on the backswing, but obviously fail. Because I was going way too fast.
I'll say with that one in your bit, as you are cutting on through and doing the slicing on up to try and get him again, you manage to just nick right where his hand is and ended up cutting through a bit of his finger as he suddenly loses grip on a couple of his fingers as he suddenly loses grip onto the ruby rod as it falls down to the ground. I will give
I'll take
you. Okay.
I'll take that.
Bonus action. Reach over there, grab it. What do you look to do from here?
I'm gonna shoot the rest of the way over to get back to Tiamat.
Okay.
Like, rod in hand, just yelling, I got it!
Okay. Kellan, you're up. Well, unless, what is it? Sorry, Kellan.
Wait,
is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
No, I'm literally just like as fast as my pretty black wings can take me, just like straight on over to Tiamat.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool beans. Coronos, you're up. What would you like to do?
Coronos sees that Kellan has the rod. He sees, like, he sort of like assesses where all of his friends are. He looks where Tiamat is. He reaches onto his sort of like utility belt, and he pulls out this glass sphere with a stopper in it. It looks like it's filled with like kind of like white smoke. And so from his spot underneath Tiamat, he uncorks it, he smashes it on the ground. And what you see emanating from this sort of glass sphere is like, you know, when like dry ice at a Halloween party, like it kind of flows out of the cauldron. And what he does is this white smoke sort of starts to pool and then forms a ring. And then from that ring, the ring starts to rise, and it's around Tiamat, it's around Gwen, it's around Adeline, it's around Kellan. It's because I can get up to 60 feet. And what is my name? Coronos has cast Blade Barrier. And so this wall of blades, whirling razor sharp blades, appears around Tiamat and all of my friends. And all the creatures, when the creature enters the wall area for the first time or starts to turn there, the creature must make a dexterity saving throw or take 6d10 worth of damage if they fail, or half of it if they don't.
Nice.
Take that. Get away from my friends.
Okay. Coolness. One of the things you also notice too is like you hear as Kellan is saying, I got it. After you've bashed this thing down, everything forms around your friends. What do you look to do at this point?
Me?
Yeah.
I was just stoked about Blade Barrier. I'm gonna look at Kellan and say, let's finish this. And so all of the remaining enemies, when it's their turn again, they're gonna have to beat a DC check of 18 or take 45 points of damage, and half that if they succeed. I'll put that in the chat too so you can find it.
Alrighty. Awesome. If I'm not mistaken, Adeline, because he did take damage, he's gonna have to make a wisdom saving throw, correct? The devil boy that you dominated.
I am muted. Yes, he has to make another DC 19 will save.
He fails.
Cool. He's still my friend.
Yeah. He's still going for it. As he continues just like stabbing on through and start making this, you can obviously tell that he is a friendly at this point, and with the attacks continuing to compound against, essentially it's now becoming a bit of a 1v, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of y'all. You guys start to dwindle down as he starts taking that damage. I don't even roll. Let's see what happened. That's a 15 for Coronos' blade, and that is going to be, what is it? Half of that, correct, for a pass?
Yeah.
So he'll take half of that damage, but even then, that's compounding more and more as we go on. And to the point where, like, Tiamat, as soon as she realizes that you have it, you'll hear her send out a quick telepathy note to you all saying, "Get on my back." What would you all like to do?
I'm not gonna disagree with the
Not
Dragon
gonna-
Queen.
Yeah.
Literally,
And if
I'm
she
not
says
gonna
get on
argue
my
with the
back,
literal
I'm just
goddess.
gonna
Yeah.
Literally
Yeah.
God. I'm not gonna.
Double time
Yeah.
it. Double time.
Yeah,
Double
yep,
time, double time.
exactly. Yep. I'll even like hold out my hand for Adeline because she's the farthest one away at this point. So just like get up here now.
I pull out the flying broom that I've had this entire time. I forgot about because it's been a while since I looked at this character sheet.
Just on that flying broom, just like beelines it over there. And as you like get on, you see as like she gets down and jumps up, and as she does, all of her dragon heads in like this slow motion caption just like unleashes their dragon breaths all in one shot, as it's just kind of like propelling all of you out of Belle's Forge as she begins to fly away and head off down to and just fly away, heading down to where her castle is supposedly supposed to be, which looks familiar from where you guys, as you see like the massive hole that you guys initially had broken free from with her. She lands just shy of it, and you guys can see like the still flying swarming meteor, the medium swarm that's still kind of like falling down off in the distance as she like drops down, allowing for you all to take over there. She gives you like a quick nod with all 5 of her heads, and you'll see as she'll like I said, she'll nod at you all, and then she'll jump back up into the sky with the ruby rod in her mouth, and with it she'll toss it up into the air, and you'll see as that same breath attack that she unleashed on Belle, she unleashes it all on that mid-air before she flies on away. And as she does, you'll see as like a little note kind of flutters on down and sits and lands in front of you all. Who's the first one to grab it?
Me. Pick that shit up.
Cool. Then I have a little note I'm going to shoot to you now. If I can have you read it, that would be fantastic.
Hell yeah. Okay. I will pick up the note and look it over and sort of grin as I gesture the others to me. The note reads, "You have done me a great service, mortals. I, Tiamat, the avaricious, am in your debt, which is not something to be taken lightly, even if I am bound here. Never underestimate a caged woman's wrath."
And then that's where we're going to end today's session.
Ooh. Oh,
Thank you all
that's
so much.
amazing. Oh, it was so good. But also,
was
she
so
couldn't
cool.
have left us a portal. So we just have to. I have to. All right. Well, that's what I do. I find portals. So let's go.
That's that's
That's
kind of
my
your bag.
thing.
That's
I
your
know,
bag.
It's fine. It's fine.
This is like an end credit scene at
Yeah.
at the end of the movie. We're just like,
Mhm.
we have to get. How are we going to get back home?
Exactly.
Just hear
Exactly.
Adeline just mutter like, "My God, Tasha's not gonna believe this." Because this is who my patron was, Tasha.
Nice.
Oh.
I feel like I
Yeah.
should like clap or something.
Alrighty, cool. I'm Justin. I've been your guest storyteller for this evening, and thank you all for tuning in to Uncaged Goddesses, She Who Ran the World, a scenario written for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons by Nina Nicole. You can find out more about Uncaged Goddesses by typing in exclamation point scenario in the chat or looking at the show notes on YouTube and listening into the podcast. You can find me at all of my socials at Forever DM Justin, where I'm active mostly on Twitter, TikTok. You'll see me posting up stuff on Instagram. And I'm going to kick this over to Laura.
Hi. Hello. You can call me Laura or Tutu or Laura Tutu. You will most likely find me hanging out with the folks over at Queen's Court Games because I run their social medias and make sure people know like when we're doing stuff and like when that stuff is coming out. Other than that, if you want to see what I'm doing on my own, you can find me on TikTok as _Laura_Tutu_. I'm also on Twitter as Laura_Tutu. In general, if you want to find me, you're gonna have to look for Laura_Tutu. You might just have to put an underscore at the beginning and the end of that because obviously I can't just have everything under the same damn name. I didn't get there fast enough. It's my own damn fault. When I'm not with the folks at Queen's Court Games, I occasionally hang out with the lovely humans over at Obsidian Brews. Hello, Bendy. Hello, Rob. You'll be able to see a lot more of their stuff coming up soon. I know they're going to be running around at a couple of cons this season, and I wish I could be there. But thank you guys so much for watching us hang out with the Dragon Queen herself. Take it away, Aubrey.
Hello, I'm Aubrey. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Mad Queen Cosplay. You can find me a lot here, being the technical director, doing all the technical directorness and remastering tans and playing in games and all that fun stuff. It's a blast. But you can also find me over on Goblins and Games, where I am the GM and editor and producer and stuff, where we're in the middle of our final season of our first campaign of our Pathfinder 2e game. You can also catch me over on Bring Your Own Mech as Sawyer, the slightly sometimes useless sword lesbian runaway princess. And you can also catch me as Ryan on Escaping Carcosa. I play as part of the Pathfinder crew, and then I also have like a bunch of other things that I actually don't even remember if I can even talk about yet. So go pay attention to my Twitter for all of the fun announcements when those things do come. And B, go.
That's me. I'm V. You can find me on the internet on Twitter at V is for Vampire because my name is V and I like vampires. Exactly. We're learning how this goes. But I pretty much do most of the art stuff over here at Queen's Court Games. So if you liked the overlay, if you like the transitions, this, that, the other thing, it's probably mine. Most of the time I am here. I'm guesting on a couple different things coming up. I don't think anything's out yet. It's coming soon, TM. But you can also see all of the art and stuff that I do, all of our Patreon exclusive art over on our Patreon at Queen's Court Games. You can find all of us at Queen's Court Games everywhere on the internet at Queen's Court Games, except for Twitter, where it's Queen's Court RPG, because 15 characters is one shy of how many we needed, and we didn't plan very well. So it's fine. It's fine. I'm only slightly salty about it. But lastly, but certainly not leastly, our fantastic guest for this evening, who I had to bribe with lots of fruit snacks to come out tonight. Our fantastic, amazing, wonderful guest, Cateosaurus. Cate, thank you so much for being here. If people love you, they want to see more of the crazy shenaniganeries that you get into in D&D or anything else, hopefully you'll come back and join us for something not D&D. We can get you into something else super fun. But until then, where can people find you? What are you doing? Pimp yourself out, please.
Okay. First and foremost, thank you all so much for having me. This was delightful. I had a great time. And you can find me as Catiosaurus on all the corners of the internet. I would love it if you would follow me on YouTube, as I am transitioning off of TikTok onto YouTube, which is scary and terrifying, but the more friends, the easier it is. I also stream on Twitch. I also have a podcast. It's called Cate and Eric's Infinite Quest. And this year we are moving into more TTRPG content, especially small indie TTRPGs, especially small collaborative storytelling world building TTRPGs. I'm very excited about that. And I am playing right now Miriam on ATL by Night, because we do love vampires around these parts. And other than that, I'm not allowed to tell you what I'm working on, but if you want more details, you can go to catiosaurus.com or follow me on Twitter, because I'm chronically on Twitter.
No.
Vibes.
Amazing. Fantastic. Well, thank you again, friends, for joining us. This has been absolutely a blast. We never really play D&D over here at Queen's Court Games, so this was fun for all of us. Justin, thank you so much for joining us as our DM. I hope you didn't I hope you didn't hate the experience. I hope you loved it and will join us again for more.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well then, friends, until then, see you next time. Well, oh, sorry. Hold on. Wait, I have to say the thing. I'm not Aaron, so I'm not used to saying this. But we'll see you here again next week, same time, but 3 hours ago. Until then, see you next time.